your local St. Louis Hyundai dealer today. Offers end June 1st, 2021. Call 224-661-0068 for details.
Remember when health food started to become popular in grocery stores like early 2000s? There was a lot of really crappy products with good intentions that ended up just tasting like chalk. I always wondered at the time that those products have gotten better. They're still not like the best. You still always just prefer a cookie. But the health benefits of eating just meat and vegetables, man, it really just comes down to that. And if you can make it a good meal, then you're really not sacrificing anything. I mean, you do it in a good environment, it can also just kind of make you happy. Today is a really crappy day. So I'm inviting you to go to Andrea's Steakhouse for a great steak, a gigantic steak. No matter what you order, you're going to get a good portion. Even if you order the small size filet mignon or whatever you order, you're going to get a good portion because not only is the steak good, it's also big. It's prime steak that you can't buy yourself. You can't get these cuts at grocery stores. You can only get them at top steakhouses, but you're also going to get your salad with it. And there's your vegetable, house dressing on the salad, homemade sauce, Andrea's sauce on the steak. You're set. It's going to be a great night. Go to Andrea's Steakhouse tonight or this week. Andrea's in Fairview Heights, Andreas.com.
71 FM Talk is now streaming on the Odyssey app. If you downloaded the radio.com app, you'll see the switch on your phone automatically. The Odyssey app for streaming 97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not married to sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Let's talk about the lifting of the mask mandates that we're seeing in many states, like here in New York. Other states are not ready to do that. Is the CDC basically saying whichever choice the state makes is fine?
Well, not really, George. If you look at it, the science that evolved over the last few weeks that prompted the CDC and be able to go indoors and outdoors without wearing a mask relates to the evidence of how effective these vaccines are, not only in protecting you against infection, but even if you have a breakthrough infection, the chances of you transmitting it to someone else is extremely low. Very, very low. The problem and the issue is that we don't have any way of knowing who is vaccinated and who's not vaccinated.
You don't feel like Dr. Fauci is the last one to know what's going on? Like, do you ever hear what he says and you're like, yeah, we've been saying that for a while. Welcome into the Annie Fry Show. Listening to him on this interview this weekend, I guess, with George Stephanopoulos, talking about what to do and how to wear masks. I'm going to play a couple more clips here because we're going to get to the bottom of it. We've talked about, you know, people, do you want to wear masks? Do you not want to wear masks? Everybody knows where they are on this issue. You either are never going to give up your mask ever. I think it was a Babylon Bee article. It said a person gets mask tattooed on their face to not be mistaken for a Republican. You've got people who never have worn masks, people who are never going to wear masks. And then you've got the majority of Americans in the middle who are trying to be good neighbors, probably hate wearing masks, but aren't really worried about putting a mask on to go into an establishment that's asking them to do so. But given the opportunity to patronize a private business that doesn't require you to wear masks, probably not wearing one. Listening to Dr. Fauci in this interview really sums up how we got to this point, because none of those decisions to never wear a mask, to always wear a mask, or to only wear a mask because it makes other people feel good and makes you feel like you're not going to get attacked when you want to just go buy a gallon of milk. None of us have anything to do with stopping people from getting COVID. We are way, way, way past the point right now of science in the way we use masks. Here's more.
And I think that's where the confusion arises, because there are some establishments who are saying, well, I'm going to have people coming into my establishment, my store, or what have you. Some are going to be vaccinated and some are not. I'm not going to know the difference. Some might be infected and might actually have a risk of infecting someone else. And under those circumstances, it's perfectly reasonable and understandable for the owner of that establishment to say, you know, we're going to keep the mask mandate up. And that's what we're seeing. And I think that's causing the confusion, because some are maintaining a mask mandate and others are not.
So the mask mandate confusion is because if you are vaccinated, you can choose whether to wear a mask or not. But private businesses are shockingly deciding to do what's best for themselves. What happens when we do that? Well, that's what should have been done in the first place, don't you think? If this would have been presented to the American people at the very beginning as this is what the CDC says, this is the guidance that we have based on what we know right now about this virus, and of course, over the course of a year, is that knowledge going to change? Good grief, I sure hope so. You look at what the science is and you make recommendations, you give guidance on what people will do, and then you encourage businesses to take matters into their own hands to police their own businesses the way they believe is best for their businesses. The American people, we come with a set of freedoms here that we stand firmly on that requires us to fortify that. Well, here's where it gets really interesting. How many times have we been told to follow the science? How many times have we been told to listen?
How has it changed what you do when you wear a mask?
Excuse me? How has it
changed what you do? How has it changed your mask wearing practices?
Well, you know, George, I'm obviously careful because, I'm a physician and a healthcare provider. I am now much more comfortable in people seeing me indoors without a mask. Before the CDC made the recommendation change, I didn't want to look like I was giving mixed signals. But being a fully vaccinated person, the chances of my getting infected in an indoor setting is extremely low. And that's the reason why in indoor settings now, I feel comfortable about not wearing a mask because I'm fully vaccinated.
How long has he been vaccinated? How long has Dr. Fauci been vaccinated? Did you hear there where he said that he didn't like to send mixed signals, that he was afraid that mixed signals might confuse what people are hearing? Well, how can we listen to you talk about why we need to go get vaccinated and watch you go everywhere, including, the president of the United States go everywhere with a mask on, when they're specifically telling us that the science is different? Listen, let's go back to, I'm hoping I play this clip right here. Let's go back to March 19th and listen to Rand Paul here talking about masks and vaccine.
I don't think we have a hospitalization in the United States after the 2-week period after the second vaccination. We don't have a death in the United States.
You're not hearing what I'm saying about variants. We're talking about wild type versus variants.
And what proof is there that there are significant reinfections with hospitalizations and death from the variants? None in our country. Zero.
Well, because we don't have a prevalent of a variant yet. We're having one. Can I finish? We're having 117 that's becoming more dominant.
Policy based on conjecture.
No, it isn't based on conjecture.
Variants, so you want people to wear a mask for another couple years.
No,
you've been vaccinated and you parade around in 2 masks for show.
No.
Rand Paul, anybody? Are you hearing what Rand Paul is saying here? Everything Rand Paul just said, unless I am mishearing a part of this, is there anything about what Rand Paul said? We had that sound on March 19th, 2021. So that probably happened on March 19th or maybe a few days before then, suggesting that you want people to get vaccines, right? You want people to participate in this push that you have to get the vaccination, because the more people that get vaccinated, the better, according to what we hear from the CDC. Vicky on Facebook just said, isn't Rand Paul a doctor? Yes, he in fact is a doctor. I trust Rand Paul's medical advice significantly more than I trust Dr. Fauci's. And you consider the fact that in the midst of all of this conversation, pushing for the CDC and the government pushing everybody to go get vaccinations, Rand Paul's point was, you've been vaccinated. What purpose is it for anybody to go out and get vaccinated right now if you're still going to have to wear a mask, and everybody else is still going to have to wear a mask, and everybody else is still going to have to social distance, and everybody else is still going to have to, live reclusively in this free country that we still have at least a pinky's grab hold upon? What kind of message are you sending? And Dr. Fauci's response there was, we don't know about variants. We don't know about this. We don't know about that. And that's why he still wears a mask. Well, just this weekend with George Stephanopoulos, he said, I didn't want to send mixed signals. You got called on it by Rand Paul in March. And you were telling us there was science behind your decision. But you're telling us now you didn't want to send mixed signals. Which is it? You want to know why people aren't running out to get vaccines right now? Because this government has fumbled this entire process. The duration of what America has been willing to put up with their government, because that's the way it works. The government does not put up with us. We put up with the government, and we should change it like diapers frequently because it stinks. When you listen to how these people are, your neighbors, maybe it's you, hesitant to go get a vaccine, why would you go put yourself out there to get a vaccine when it doesn't change anything that exists in your life? When it doesn't cause you, especially if you've had COVID, because nobody's acting like you have permission to do anything extra if you have the natural immunity that comes with having survived the virus, which 99% of people who have gotten it have done. It's absolutely ridiculous. And the people who are, out there pushing, mask or die, I will never take off my mask. Across the spectrum, there's lunacy.
Mm-hmm.
And the more that we push down this road, we are going to push away from each other even more. It blows my mind that you can listen to people tell a story about an interaction in an office, an interaction, at a little league game, or in your church, or in your community building, or maybe at like a local gym or something. You can listen to someone tell a story about that, and if masks at the middle of it, you can tell by the end of the story how people vote. Is that not wonk? Like, is that not insane that is where we are with a pandemic? We care more about our politics than we care about our own freaking health. And this is what the scientific leaders of our country, the experts, have done to our people. And it's crazy.
I knew a girl, and we went to college together, and we went to elementary together, and we started following each other on Twitter. And 2 days ago, she posed this question on Twitter, and you could tell that she was hesitant. She was like, I'm really not trying to take a stance on this, but we have been told to wear masks this entire time, and that if we get the vaccine, we will not have to wear masks. I've been vigilant on wearing my mask everywhere and being pro-mask. And now I have my vaccine, and I'm still told to wear my mask or to double mask. Can someone make this make sense to me? Because I genuinely don't get what's going on. That was a girl that I follow her on Twitter. She doesn't have anything political to say. She doesn't dip her toe into politics or go from one side or the other. That was a normal 27-year-old girl.
Common sense question.
What's going on? And you know what? You could tell that she was hesitant to even ask that question. She had to preface it by saying, sure, I don't know. I have no dog in this fight. I just want to know what's happening with the masks.
I don't know what to do.
I got my vaccine.
And I just want to be a good person. I mean, that is the vast majority of Americans. I don't care if you vote Republican or Democrat or you've never voted before in your life. The vast majority of people are trying to do what they think is right. And there are people out there who are trying to make people feel like if they do or if they don't wear a mask, they are making the wrong decision. I believe that only you know what the right decision is for you. And in this great country, that used to be the predicate for how we did things. Some might call it the honor system. Some might call it common sense. I think it's uncommon sense, and I wish we could get more of it. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, Tony Colombo is going to come in. We're going to talk a little bit about cancel culture. Joe Rogan made a comment on this, and we're going to talk a little bit about, what's her name? Oh, yeah, Chrissy Teigen. Gosh, yeah, Katie rolled her eyeballs. If you couldn't hear the eyeballs rolling around in her head, I will let you know that that just happened. You can watch Katie roll her eyeballs on the live stream, facebook.com/Annie Fry Show or the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Tune in, say hello, tell us what you think. We love to hear from you. We'll be right back.
Buy a jumbo jet.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
But nothing else. No.
Edwards Carpet is so grateful to our military personnel that sacrificed their lives for our country. Please honor them this Memorial Day. We owe our way of life to these heroes. God bless America.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Source.
When you call the Closet Factory at 314-961-4300, 314-961-4300, online at closetfactory.com, you can act now to receive $500 off your minimum purchase of $2,500. That means a custom organization job done by the best of St. Louis, a family-owned business, the most trusted name in closet organization in St. Louis, offering an unlimited product range to fit any area of your home. Now, here are some of the kinds of projects that you could have them come take care of at your house. Maybe your mudroom or your garage area, that kind of entryway from working out in the yard. Lots of people are out in the yards doing that right now because it's springtime, and on a rainy day like this, that mudroom, does it need some more organization to keep that dirt from coming into the house? They can help you with custom organization storage for your particular situation. Maybe you need a new master closet or bathroom storage that needs to be taken care of. They can customize anything for your particular needs, and you can save $500 off your minimum purchase of $2,500 now. 314-961-4300, closetfactory.com.
Diamonds Direct has enough diamonds right now to supply up to 30 ordinary jewelry stores. From a half carat to 10 carats. Rare, precious diamonds in all shapes, straight from the world's best diamond cutters. At Diamonds Direct, diamonds are our business, our specialty, our focus. That's why we can guarantee the best diamond selection and the best diamond prices every day, every week, every year. Diamonds Direct. Get store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
Sometimes old ideas aren't good, they're just old. For too long, Missouri officials have operated on the mistaken notion that education should only take place in person in an assigned public school. The pandemic has shown that's not good enough. Reform is needed to give parents choices to get their children the best education available. One great option is education savings accounts, or ESAs. The money the state would normally pay to your child's public school would go into an account that you control. You would be able to access the funds for private school tuition, online learning programs, or other approved uses. You can use that money to tailor your child's education. ESAs would put parents in charge. It's school choice at its best, with money following the student and not buildings. Let's help parents find an education that fits the needs of their child. Learn more in our 2021 Missouri Blueprint, moving Missouri forward at showmeinstitute.org. The Show Me Minute has been brought to you by Show Me Institute and Show Me Opportunity.
Selecting a financial advisor is one of the most important decisions you will make heading into retirement. Hi, I'm Bob Stockdale, Senior Vice President Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money every Saturday morning at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Choosing a financial advisor is a critical step in planning for your retirement. You want to find an advisor you can trust is working in your best interest with the experience to do the job well. Providing guidance solely in your best interest is foundational to our team's approach. And with over 90 years of combined experience, you can have confidence we have the depth of knowledge to help you navigate important financial decisions. If you're retiring in the next 5 years or need a second opinion on your current plan, contact us today for a free free consultation. To schedule your free retirement planning consultation, contact us at bobstockdale.com. That's bobstockdale.com. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
97.1. Your continuing home of free speech in St. Louis. 97.1 FM Talk. 97.1 FM Talk. The place for discussion. The place for ideas.
And I stumble to the kitchen, pour myself a cup of ambition and yawn and stretch and try to come to life. Jump in the shower and the blood starts pumping. Out on the street, the traffic starts jumping with folks like me on the job from 9 to 5.
You can never be woken up. That's the problem. It keeps going. It keeps going further and further and further down the line. And if you get to the point where you capitulate, where you agree to all these demands, it will eventually get to straight white men are not allowed to talk.
Right.
Because it's your privilege to express yourself when other people of color have been silenced throughout history. It will be, you're not allowed to go outside because so many people were imprisoned for so many years. I mean, I'm not joking.
No, I know.
It really will get there. It's that crazy. You know, we just got to be nice to each other, man. And there's a lot of people that are taking advantage of this weirdness in our culture, and then that becomes their thing. Their thing is calling people out for their privilege, calling people out for their position. You know, it's crazy times.
So Joe Rogan there, a podcaster, the number one podcaster in the country, I believe, talking about the perils of being the straight white male and the fact that at some point you're not even going to be able to leave your house and speak. So we decided to get a second straight white male on the show to talk to us a little bit here early. Hi, Tony Colombo. How are you?
Hello, everybody. How's
feeling
it going?
straight and white and male today?
I guess.
Are you feeling manly today?
Just feeling like me. That's about it.
If we were going to acknowledge what Joe Rogan just said there, Katie and I should have a discussion about you and Ryan while you sit there and just listen.
And nod and agree.
Nod on the radio and agree.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm used to plenty of people talking about me. So
Do you feel like Joe Rogan is right that the end game here is that you're going to not be able to say anything? That's going to be unfortunate for two straight white dudes who are on the radio. It's your job.
Yeah, I mean, I understand exactly what he's saying, and he may be exaggerating a little bit. I'm not sure. Maybe he doesn't think he is exaggerating a little bit, but he is exactly right that this is the path that we are on when we allow the people who are behind cancel culture to continue to have power over society. When we allow, when somebody gets quote unquote canceled and the whole world goes along with it, then the people that are doing the canceling are emboldened and they're given power. And it doesn't matter if it's, certainly there are certain people that deserve to be canceled. There are certainly people that have done terrible things. And when those things get revealed, that, striking out against them and looking for justice is a good thing. But when that runs out of control and you do it to anybody who you think is your political enemy or doesn't hold every single belief that you hold, then that just gets out of control. And what people don't realize is when you allow that power, when you allow that to be the way we do things now, it can be turned around on you as easily as it can be, as you could do it to somebody else.
Yep.
So suddenly, So suddenly you feel like you're, this big shot that's, some kind of social justice warrior out there, catching all the bad guys. And then somebody finds a Facebook post that you made 17 years ago, and all of a sudden you're the one who's gone now, and you don't feel like it's fair, and you don't feel like it's taken out of context, and that's not what I meant, and that's not who I am, and that's completely wrong. But you didn't afford anybody else those excuses, so that's
Here's
it.
a real question: how big is the cancel culture mob compared to how loud is the cancel culture?
It's much louder than it is big.
I mean,
but
is it even really big?
Gosh, but I feel like the loudness of it is what affects, it's cause and reaction. I think that the cause, like, because it is so loud,
it seems big.
It seems huge. And because it seems huge, people get canceled.
So back to my question. I mean, the volume from a sound standpoint is exactly what you're saying, Katie. They have the microphones, the TVs, the Twitter campaigns. How big is it really? I mean, don't you feel like the real people who you know in life are like, this is nuts. This is bonkers.
Yeah,
like,
but
what are we doing here?
But that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that they're small because they wield a ton of power. Because as soon as if companies will change their policies or advertisers will pull their sponsorships, it doesn't matter how big, it doesn't matter how many people are behind it. That's tremendous power. And as long as they wield that type of power, then their influence is huge. And it doesn't matter that it's a very small
in order
number
to
of people.
combat this, because this is the new way of culture. This is the new way that we go. I mean, listen here to Don Lemon. Katie, this one's for you. Listen.
With grace, as I write in my book, we need to hold people accountable, but with grace. That's really important to me. Because, you want to know why? As someone who really came from, I shouldn't say nothing, but I didn't have a silver spoon in my mouth, right? I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. And if you believe that America is for everyone, then you certainly believe that America is about redemption. America is about redemption. It is not just about canceling people. We've got to stop that. We've got to stop going back into people's past years and decades ago and trying to cancel them for things. Yes, we want to hold them accountable. We got to stop canceling people for accusations. Accusations are just an accusation.
First thing, I think somebody might have just brought to Don Lemon's attention something in his past. Second thing,
because Don Lemon's a human being, and I guarantee you, if everybody picked through everybody, if you pick through everybody's past,
you got something there.
You're gonna find something on somebody, on everybody, and Don Lemon probably knows that better than anybody.
Didn't Don Lemon come out and say, like, in the wake of either January 6th or going into the election, I can't remember. I have try to block out the Don Lemon sound I play on my own show. But didn't he come out and say something to the effect of, like, you need to cut these Trump supporters out of your life?
Yeah.
Like, didn't he come out and say that, if you are including these types of people like that he assumes that I am, I'm not going to put all of us in this room here in the same category. But he's canceling people out of his life, and he's saying that if you don't do it, then you're just as responsible as anybody else. I mean, who the hell is Don Lemon to make the rules here? Why does Don Lemon get to say now who's he giving permission to not be canceled? Is he Chrissy Teigen's BFF here? Katie, I don't know if you can, do you know the Chrissy Teigen story?
I do. I don't. I need to have it pulled up though, because the girl's name slips my mind. The generic form of what's going on. Tony, you might have more information.
I think I have about as good of an understanding as you do. I understand. I read the story, but
Chrissy Teigen bullied a minor.
Yes.
Told her to kill herself. Told her to eat dirt. Repeatedly harassed this minor. And Chrissy Teigen has come out on Twitter and said, I was completely wrong. I'm so embarrassed that I did this. I should never have done this. I'm mortified that I did this. But does that matter? I mean, it didn't matter to Chrissy Teigen.
It shouldn't matter. Under the rules of cancel culture, it should not matter.
I have a little bit of information of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
Chrissy Teigen's cookware line has been dropped from both Macy's and Target websites. While Target claims the drop is unrelated, the unavailability of Teigen's products on both has come days after revelations of the model's consistent cyberbullying via Twitter. She was bullying 16-year-old at the time, Courtney Stodden, because there was a controversy. Courtney was marrying an older gentleman, I believe in his 40s, while she was 16 with her parents' permission. And Chrissy Teigen's she slid in basically to her DM saying, you need to kill yourself, take a dirt nap, horrible, horrible things to a 16-year-old at the time. And Courtney came out and was like, look, you all are idolizing this woman who is a notorious cyberbully person who did it all to me for a very long time. These are the messages. I have the receipts. And basically now everybody is dropping Chrissy Teigen saying, you know what? You're not the person that I expected you to be. And you're somebody on the internet saying, I wanted to be beloved and I wanted everybody to like me. And I've always tried to do the right thing. And then this happens.
So like Tony said, by the rules of cancel culture, she should be finished. She should be done.
Chrissy Teigen has a long history of being a horrible person.
Should Chrissy Teigen, should she lose these deals because she did this? Should she have the opportunity, like Don Lemon just said there, for redemption? And I'll tell you, redemption comes over a matter of time. You can't tweet out an apology and just, because you've inconveniently lost a stream of income for yourself, tweet out an apology and have that be the case. Like Robert Downey Jr. to me is one of the most interesting cases in American redemption. When you look at his story and his drug addiction and being in prison and how he fought back and came back, I just think he's a great American story. And I have an idea of what his politics are, but I don't care what they are. America does love a redemption story, like Don Lemon said, but we cancel so quickly and it's always on one side. It's bizarre to see this coming after Chrissy Teigen.
Yeah. Chrissy Teigen is probably a bad example of looking for a redemption story because she's just been a horrible bully for so long, trying to play both sides
and she loves it.
Of being the clapback queen, but at the same time saying, oh, I'm just trying to live my life. Why is everybody coming after me? Even though it's her thing to come after people and to make fun of people and to, start drama and then fall back and go, why does everybody want to pick on me?
Courtney Stodden also said that Joy Behar came after her and had a field day calling her a slut. Sorry for saying that, but like saying a lot of horrible things about Courtney Stodden, a 16-year-old at the time. That's wild. All of these celebrities kind of ganged up on her. But I mean, I just think that
here's what I know won't happen. Joy Behar and Chrissy Teigen are not going to lose their careers. They may lose. Chrissy Teigen may be losing her Target cookware line, but she's not going to suddenly be completely shut out of every. Last time I checked,
the
I'll
inner
have to check
circle.
Again. The last time I was on the People Magazine website,
When was the last time
holding
you were on the People Magazine website?
I check it from time to time. Believe it or not, I'm on the radio, so I have to be up to speed.
I am
on
too.
what's
I didn't know that was a requirement. Hold on, I'll be right back.
Yeah, sometimes you got to sometimes you got to check those type of websites.
Yeah, we do a whole segment called Yahoo.
So you know what's going on.
And we go to Yahoo to see what they're saying.
But anyway, like the holding picture, like the standard like hold screen picture on the People Magazine website was Chrissy Teigen and John Legend. So like I don't think that she's being shunned across the board as other people would be. Could you imagine if certain other individuals, it came out that they bullied a 16-year-old girl, they would be completely cut out of everything. And I don't think cancel culture is going to come for Chrissy Teigen as hard as it has for others.
Yeah, she'll be able to land on her feet. I was trying to see if we had that sound. It might have been before COVID, but Chrissy Teigen and Donald Trump got into a fight when Donald Trump was in office. You remember that? He's like, she's real nasty. And boy, she loved that. She got a lot of attention due to Donald Trump's mentioning of her and her foul language. Is my recollection. I'll see if I can find the tweets or the comments when we come back. We got Signs of the Apocalypse with Tony Colombo, who is in studio with us today. Make sure you come say hi. You can watch the four of us here on the live chat with the webcam on Facebook.com/Annie Fry Show or the Annie Fry YouTube channel. And you can stream us anywhere you go on the Odyssey app, AUDACY. Go download it. Find 97.1 FM Talk, favorite the station, and you can listen all day, every day to 97.1 right there. Quick break. When we come back, more Signs of the Apocalypse with Tony Colombo.
Job from 9 to 5. Working 9 to 5.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio, Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Get guaranteed hours year-round, up to $25,000 signing bonus, and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com. So I want to talk to you about Lakeside Renovation and Design. And today is a special day at Lakeside because it's Candace's birthday. Candace is their marketing director, and she's the daughter of the owner. She has got all the trains running on time, and she works really hard to make sure that you can see the beautiful work that Lakeside Renovation and Design is doing for St. Louisans on the Illinois side of the river, on the Missouri side of the river, every single day. Talking to Candace about Lakeside Renovation and Design and the pride that she has to work there, the company that her father has helped grow and build, and the people who are employed by Lakeside. I mean, the pride is beaming from her because she knows what they have. She knows what Lakeside Renovation and Design has. And when you reach out to Lakeside Renovation and Design at 636-978-5000, you're going to be able to tell that right away. They offer that lifetime workmanship warranty on top of the manufacturer's warranty because they know that they can deliver you the service, the project that you deserve when you want the best. And Lakeside Renovation and Design can help you with that interior or exterior remodel with the very best. 636-978-5000. Call today and get an appointment scheduled. And if you call today, tell Candace happy birthday. 636-978-5000. LakesideRenovationandDesign.com.
As Old Man Winter hits us, Mango wants to remind you to check your gas meter for snow and ice accumulation because too much snow and ice could cause a natural gas leak. Get more tips from the Missouri Association of Natural Gas Operators at mosafegas.com.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can pay you cash and close in as little as 5 days. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is your most trusted home buyer. We buy houses in any condition, any price range, and in any location in the St. Louis metro. Call 314-782-5000. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis buys inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses, and even those my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis today. Vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis at 314-782-5000. That's 314-782-5000. 314-782-5000.
Hey guys, Colombo back with you for our family dentist, Dr. Matt Boscia at New Creation Dental Care. You've heard me talk about all of the great things that Dr. Boscia has done for me and my family. The sleep apnea treatment that was an absolute life changer for me. The fast braces that my daughter Grace went through. She had her braces on for a matter of weeks. We barely have any pictures with her and her braces on. Normally it's an entire phase of somebody's life, that they had their braces on. Hers were, again, about 20 weeks from August to January, and now her smile is perfect. They are great with younger kids. They take that fear and anxiety, especially out of those first couple of dental appointments, dentist appointments. Our daughter Maggie gets anxiety about going to the dentist and, the doctor and things like that. And they made that first appointment such a positive one that she's not afraid to go to the dentist. And so many more great services, incredible implant technology that you can take advantage of. And now 2 locations out there in Lake St. Louis. So if you want to learn more about New Creation Dental Care and Dr. Matt Boscia, go to newcreationdentalcare.com.
At Coleman's Campers, we are proud to provide you with the best value for your hard-earned dollar. Whether you're shopping for your first camper or your next camper, we have options to fit your taste and budget. Come in today and start making memories tomorrow. Coleman's Campers in Hartford, Illinois, where customers become friends.
Hi, everybody. This is Sean Rimmerman, your host of We're Having a Senior Moment. Do you have a warm heart and a caring soul? Are you really devoted to being able to help others? Give us a call at Comfort Care 314-965-9600. Let us help you turn your dreams into reality as you help our friends, our families, and our clients live their best lives possible. Remember, 314-965-9600.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Get guaranteed hours year-round, up to $25,000 signing bonus, and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
You can ask your smart speaker to play 97.1 FM Talk and stay connected to everything happening in the world, the country, and the community. It's all through the new Odyssey app, where St. Louis comes to talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
I am still living with your ghost, lonely and dreaming of the West Coast. I don't want to be your downtime. I don't want to be your stupid game with my big black boots and an old suitcase.
Welcome back to the Andy Fry Show. Happy to have you here with us. We got Tony Colombo in studio, along with the rest of the crew, Katie and Ryan, myself here to do a little Signs of the Apocalypse.
Now, Signs of the Apocalypse on the Andy Fry Show.
This first one is great.
Fantastic.
Elderly tourists.
I don't know why I thought you were going to say El Diablo.
El Diablo tourists.
But I thought that's where this was going. They're devil tourists.
We're on a sightseeing tour.
Yeah.
At least that's what they thought it was.
Oh, no.
And they were actually taken to a cemetery for a sales pitch.
No!
A group of elderly tourists in China all paid to go on a sightseeing tour.
They paid
recently.
for it? They
Yeah,
weren't even like doing it for the gift card at the end?
No, they were going on. They it was like a vacation. They were like doing a vacation day, and they
here's where you could be
paid.
buried.
They paid to go on this what they were told was a sightseeing tour, and what actually happened is they brought them to a cemetery and went into a full sales pitch.
That is so
about why these
rude.
old people
not good
would like to spend eternity in this beautiful cemetery.
If you were those,
That is some bait and switch.
if
That
you
is
were
the
the
ultimate
kids of
bait
those
and switch.
parents, I would be, if I were if my mom got conned into something like that, I would be so mad.
What would you do, Katie?
Oh my gosh. I would be calling every single day that company. I would be like, you're lucky I don't sue you. This is BS. I'm mad right now. And my mom didn't even get conned into it. I'm mad.
She's not elderly.
That's true. She's young.
Be
very
careful
young.
of the iPhone live photo feature.
Oh, no.
We have Samsung has this feature too. I don't know exactly what it's called, but I've actually taken pictures with this that I didn't realize. I didn't realize it was happening when I did it. Yeah, but what it does is basically it's not just a still photo.
Mhm.
It takes a few seconds before and after the photo.
It's like an active shot type of a feature?
Yeah, yes, exactly. It's kind of like its own little GIF, I guess, whenever you take a picture. So a woman named Serena posted a video on TikTok last week showing her boyfriend sent her a photo of an empty bed in a hotel room, telling her that he missed her. He was apparently like on a business trip.
Oh, I see where this is
Sent
going.
a picture
This
to
is not good.
Sent a picture of him laying in the hotel room alone and said, it's lonely here. I miss you. But what he accidentally did was hit the live photo button, which means that the picture actually took a few seconds of video. And so when she pressed down to see the live video, at the end of the clip, another woman jumped into the bed with her boyfriend.
Good.
I saw this.
Did
I
you?
saw
Did
it,
you see
yeah.
the video?
Yes, I saw it, and
is it real?
I don't know. I don't know if it's real or if it's fake because the girl at the end of the video looked pretty darn happy to be there, and she looked like she didn't know that a picture was being taken.
Yeah.
So that, like, when I saw her, I'm like, that is crazy. But it's also one of those things that, like, you have to scroll to get to the live. And not just the photo.
And you've got it. Well, I don't believe anything I see on the internet. Like the spaghetti video that's going out where they're making spaghetti on a countertop and you've seen people do nachos and stuff. Like all of this stuff is to get you to watch it because these people make money this way. So now we're talking about, but maybe it is real. I don't know.
You have to choose live
Did she post
on
it
your
then?
iPhone. So that's why I'm like,
He sent it to her and she posted it
He was distracted.
as a gotcha.
Maybe.
I don't know how to do it on iPhones, but I have done the active photo
Yeah, I have
by
too.
accident on my Samsung phone.
It's doable.
So it's right next to the photo, and like
Ours is not.
Yeah.
Ours is up top.
Gotcha.
So the phone, it really comes down to the phone.
Right.
And
But if the girl didn't look like she knew she was on,
I mean, she was like
That lead-
giggling going back to the bed in this video. And I'm like, ooh.
wouldn't that lead to the credibility of the picture of it being real then?
Yeah.
If she didn't
but you
realize.
just don't know. You just
Yeah.
don't know. You got to question everything.
Oh,
People
absolutely.
on people
Oh,
in the
I
live
agree with
chat
that.
are saying it can be set to that by default.
Mm.
Brad also saying I think it's default on the iPhone. Amy saying on YouTube,
You know what? I think
live
it
is
was-
automatic on my iPhone. I have to turn it off.
Yeah,
So.
I think that's the thing on Galaxy too, because I think the last time I did an update, I think the next time I took a picture is when it happened. I think the update defaulted the camera to that.
The
So
moral of the story
maybe that
here
happens.
is not learn how to use your camera. It's don't be a cheating jerk.
Yes,
That's what it is.
exactly. Last month here, this one is for a little bonus here for the people watching on the live stream. It's always better to watch in the live stream because you get these type of little bonus pieces of content here.
People want to know about your Mountain Dew. Do you drink that in one day?
A couple of these in one day.
Oh my gosh.
Last month, a California
It's a 2-liter.
Nope, not California. A bakery in Milwaukee that is called Canfora. Okay. Anyway, a bakery in Milwaukee last month was robbed. Guy broke in and stole cash and equipment from them. The surveillance cameras, however, got a few decent shots of the guy, but the police couldn't identify him. So the bakery decided to put the surveillance pictures on their cookies and sell them to everybody that came in, and it worked.
Yes.
They posted the pic. They sold these cookies to everybody with these surveillance pictures on them. They posted the pictures on Facebook, and the guy was identified. Here is a picture.
Oh my gosh, that's perfect.
I love this. Oh man. That's capitalism at its
There's
finest.
the cookie, and there's the guy, and they caught him. Isn't that great?
Wearing a stocking cap, you can see a profile of him, and they got the jerk.
All right, here's another story that may or may not from the internet that may or may not be real.
We don't care.
A woman posted a TikTok video last week about how she got revenge on her ex-boyfriend's mistress. Okay. There was apparently a question that was asked by another TikToker that was like, what's the worst thing you've ever done and got away with? What's the worst thing you've ever done and got away with? So this woman replies by saying that right after she and her ex-boyfriend had a baby, she found out he'd been cheating on her the whole time with his ex-girlfriend. So she broke up with him. Then he ended up going to jail. But the mistress, the ex-girlfriend, didn't know that and kept sending him messages trying to figure out why he wasn't contacting her. So the woman that had the baby with him told the ex-girlfriend, the cheater, that the guy had died.
Oh.
And then she staged a fake funeral.
Oh my gosh.
And posted pictures of the fake funeral on Facebook. So this ex-girlfriend, the cheater, honestly believed that the guy died. She says that to this day, on the day that she did the fake funeral and everything, the ex-girlfriend, this was years ago, the ex-girlfriend will still post like, I miss my ex-boy, like 8 years ago today, my ex-boyfriend passed away. I miss him. And the guy is just in jail. He's not dead.
I wonder how long he's in jail for.
And she and this girl faked the whole thing.
So
maybe
extra.
it's true, maybe it's not true, but it's a story that has definitely gotten a lot of attention on the internet.
Such effort.
Staged a fake funeral. Actually
the worst
got
thing
like,
you've ever done and got away with.
Actually got like a couple people from his family.
Oh
to
my
play along
gosh. Oh my gosh.
and be in the pictures of the fake funeral. All
That's horrible.
To make this girl who you know, if she was cheating on somebody who was, you know, having a baby, then, you know, I get the anger.
Being mad.
I get the anger, but that's something.
Sounds like somebody turned on that guy.
Oh, good. We have time for this last one. Another one for the people on the video. There is a new optical illusion that's driving the internet crazy. look at this picture, and people, if you can't look at the live stream, go look it up. It's the little girl that looks like she is
in cement,
stuck in cement.
Have
you seen this?
I saw the headline.
So this
but
is
I hadn't
going.
seen the
This is
picture.
going crazy all over the internet.
How is she not stuck in cement?
She's actually standing next to a wall.
Yeah, that's okay.
Do you see it, Katie?
Yep, mhm, I
Once
do,
you
yep,
see
mhm.
it, it's like you see
can't
it.
not see it.
But when you
She's behind a wall?
it took me for she's standing
Oh, yeah,
behind
yeah.
a wall that's like as high as her waist.
mhm.
That's the same color as the path
But she just
that
looks
she's
like
standing
her top
on.
half.
There's
Maybe we
n-
can share this to our Facebook page.
there's no Photoshop in this picture. There's nothing. It's not doctored in any way.
At first
And
glance, it really does
it
look
is
like she's in
taking.
cement,
It is.
just
It is
plain.
going viral like the dress, like the the blue and yellow dress or the Yanny.
Yanny.
That whole thing.
Laurel.
Yeah, Laurel Yanny thing.
We played that on the air when you were on with us every day, and we
Mhm.
heard different things at the
Yes.
same time.
Yes,
I
'cause
heard
it's depend-
Laurel.
I usually heard Laurel, but it depends on how it's pitched, and then
Mhm.
and then it'll change. But
Yeah.
go and look up this picture. It's driving a lot of people crazy.
Girl
because
in
some
cement.
people can only see this girl stuck in cement, and it'll really mess with your brain the first time you see it.
Tony Colombo, thanks for stopping by. I want to
You
encourage
bet.
people to check into this Saturday. Tony hosts the Second Amendment Radio in the Great Outdoors. Also, the Weekend Report, 3 p.m. and 5 p.m., right?
That is correct.
Awesome. Heard you killed it this weekend
you.
at the Diamond Music Hall.
Katie killed it.
Of course you did. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a no-charge appraisal? It's never asking for a credit card or charging for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan.
No risk on refinancing, but I live for danger.
With our rates at a low 2.25%, refinancing with Golden Oak is anything but risky business. Get started today at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit. 11737 Administration Drive, St. Louis, Missouri.
You've heard it before, and it's true. The easiest way to freshen up the look in your home or your business is with a new coat of paint. It's Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and with CertaPro, it's even better. You don't have to do the work yourself. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. These are local painting crews in our area. They do business and residential, whether you need interior or exterior work. You can trust CertaPro to deliver top-notch results every time. That's why I've hired them time and time again. Your free estimate is just a couple of clicks away at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C. CertaPro Painters.
I was talking to my friend, Dr. Ty Parker, back in February and asking him how business was. COVID hit and dentists were hit pretty hard. So this March, May, April, they were going to be weird months because everybody's out of the habit. So I said, how's it going? He said, well, it's good. We've gotten back up to protocols, but we didn't know, what the couple months were going to be like when everybody was out of the habit. Things have been good, but it's still May. A lot of people, not just here in this area, but nationwide, are out of the habit of going to the dentist. So I recommend mine in the Metro East. If you are in the Fairview Heights area, Dr. Ty Parker is his name. Fountains Family Dentistry is where you go. You can get your appointment by calling them. They have hours that are convenient for you. Anytime. They stay open late sometimes. They're open early sometimes. Fountains Family Dentistry can be reached at fountainsfamilydentistry.com. That's fountainsfamilydentistry.com.
For the best service after the sale, go to the experts who know your car best, Bomarito. We sell and service every make and model at our state-of-the-art facility, so we have the best factory-certified technicians. We'll get you scheduled, repaired, and back on the road fast. Set your appointment on the Bomarito app or at bomarito.com, and remember, a free wash is on me when you visit. A better experience, a better price. Go with the automotive leader, Bomarito, Missouri's #1 automotive group. Open 24/7 at bomarito.com.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A prosecutor says it was justified. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Sheriff's deputies will not face charges in the killing of a black man shot during a confrontation as a warrant was being served. Fox's Eben Brown has this live.
Yeah, Lisa, the district attorney for the Elizabeth City, North Carolina area says he will not prosecute the deputies involved in the shooting death of Andrew Brown Jr., saying the deputies were reasonably afraid for their lives when Brown tried hitting them with a car. They also knew his history as a violent drug dealer who recently sold drugs to undercover cops.
Those buys were of cocaine and heroin, respectively. A later SBI lab analysis determined that the heroin was laced with fentanyl.
Andrew Womble, the DA, adds the deputies that tried to serve him with warrants clearly identified themselves, Lisa.
Thanks, Eben. The shooting prompted weeks of protests in the city. Lawyers for Brown's family have disputed that he tried to hit anyone with the car. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the U.S. should stage a diplomatic boycott of the 2022 Olympics in China over human rights abuses. Pelosi just telling a congressional hearing on the issue that heads of state who attend Olympic events there would then not have the moral authority to speak out about human rights. Moments ago in Dearborn, Michigan,
my name is Joe Biden, and I'm a car guy.
the president taking the stage to pitch his infrastructure plan while visiting Ford's new electric car factory. A top White House aide is making his pitch for young people to get vaccinated by sharing a personal story. Senior advisor Andy Slavitt revealing during today's White House briefing that one of his sons came down with the virus late last year and is still suffering lingering side effects. Use that as an appeal to younger Americans to roll up their sleeves, even if they feel they're at relatively lower risk than older Americans, to serious consequences from COVID. America is listening to Fox News.
Want the truth on why I wake up looking so darn awesome? I take care of my skin. Not just my face, but more intimate skin. And when you've got incontinence, you sure need to.
Tena Intimates pads lock liquid in and are now 100% breathable to care for your intimate skin, day or night. Tena Intimates are now endorsed by the Skin Health Alliance. Visit tenasample.com for your free sample. Kind to skin, protects like Tena.
Do not hire Franklin & Sons Electrical. The guy told me he'd shrink my monthly bill, and I'm like, dude, it's too small to read as it is.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
Then he's like, where's the circuit breaker? I'm like, bro, I didn't break anything.
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial auto and business insurance.
He told me I had a blown fuse. It's called a short fuse, and yes, I do have one, so watch yourself.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Weather patterns just stuck across much of the nation, and we are stuck with lots of clouds with scattered showers, some light drizzle and mist. Breezy 75 for the high this afternoon. Tonight, a couple of showers in the early evening, but most of the night is going to be rain-free. Lots of clouds, though, 65. Wednesday, cloudy skies, breezy again. Scattered showers and some non-severe thunderstorms around. Temperatures close to 80. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
TheMonShineTeam.com TheMonchineTeam.com is the website. This is the winning team in St. Louis. The people who are ranked in the top 5 in all of St. Louis out of 15,000 real estate agents, the people who you want on your side when it comes time to negotiate your real estate business deal. Whether you're buying or selling, the Monchine team is there to help you guide you through the entire process. If you're making an offer, do you know how to make a winning offer? Here's the thing. I know that if you're thinking about buying a house or you're thinking about selling a house, a lot of people know real estate agent. You feel like you want to go with somebody who you know because you want to help them out. Just make sure that when you make that decision, you go with the people who are going to get you the very best. This is an opportunity for you to save money, to make money on this transaction. And the Monchine team is there to do this for you. Call them at 636-537-8288 and find out how they implement an extensive pre-marketing plan designed to build up anticipation to get your home sold fast. And if you are looking to buy, to help you navigate the process and put together a real winning offer to get you your home. Find them online at themonchineteam.com, 636-537-8288, themonchineteam.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon from my friends at Zero Res Carpet Cleaning. I have another great offer for you this month. But first, let's talk about why Zero Res is so perfect for your home. They've been lab tested, proven to clean at the highest levels possible. No other cleaning method out-cleans Zero Res. So there really is only one way to get all the gunk out of your home, and that's by calling my friends at Zero Res. They have a platinum-rated cleaning system and patented Zero Res water that's going to extract all the nasty out of your home, so it's going to look and smell like a home should. With the Gotta Love It guarantee, you know you're going to be taken great care of. Check out the 3,000 plus raving customer reviews online with a 4.9 Google rating to see what all the excitement and the hype is all about. And right now, ask for the Mark Reardon special with Zero Res. You can take $50 off the air duct cleaning or 3 rooms starting at just $129, and that's a savings of $20. You can do both. Also, call Zero Res 474-2020. Book online at ZeroResSTL.com. Don't forget to ask for the Mark Reardon KFTK special 314-474-2020. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
Radio.com is now Odyssey. Download the Odyssey app to listen to 97.1 FM Talk and find content that moves you. The Odyssey app for 97.1 FM Talk on the go. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being here with us today. Happy Tuesday to you. A rainy Tuesday, but a good Tuesday. A good soaking rain, as my family would say. My grandpa, who was grew up on a farm, would always call this kind of rain a soaking rain, and it certainly is. We're going to get to our guest here. Marc Cox joins us.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says, less government, get off my back.
I'm the best there is at what I do. You're a lying, dog-faced pony soldier.
I wouldn't make it a habit calling me that, son.
And that's the bottom line.
Mark, how you doing? Welcome back to the show.
I'm great, Annie. Yeah, how are you?
Doing okay.
Good.
We could get into the details. I'm ready to not be pregnant, but everybody knows.
I understand. I've got one of those right now. My daughter. So.
I saw, and your son graduating from college from Mizzou, that went by in a blink. How fast is time traveling for Marc Cox right now?
Yeah, I'm telling you what, I'm not ready for it. Can we just slow it down a little bit? I'll be a grandpa by Saturday with any luck.
Ooh, Saturday.
I know.
That's fantastic. I'm watching Joe Biden speak in Dearborn, Michigan, and he's going to be talking about a new Ford electric vehicle that's coming out. And I'm watching him, and he's talking. Fox is carrying it, and he's not saying anything. He's thanking every Democrat that is in Michigan, and there are a few of them. But he has these opportunities to come out, to stand behind a podium, to make a speech. we see him making speeches regularly. We don't see him answering questions regularly. If you could ask Joe Biden one question right now, after he gets done making any of these speeches, what's the issue you want to know the most about that this Biden administration is or is not handling right now?
Yeah, my first question would be, because no one else seems to have asked him, why aren't you standing beside Israel as they're attacked by terrorists? Why would you suggest even for a moment that they share any of the blame in this situation? That is baffling to me, considering the fact that just 5 months ago, we didn't have this problem because we weren't giving money to the Iranians, who were then giving it to Hamas, but giving rockets to Hamas, who were lobbing them at Israel. I mean, this is absurd. The United States has played a direct hand in setting up the situation that has allowed this to happen. And meanwhile, you have to watch the mainstream media show you pictures of, the Palestinians mourning their dead. I'm sorry, I feel sorry for anybody who loses someone in a war like that. But the Palestinian people have to own this. They allow Hamas to operate within their confines and fire rockets from school buildings. It's maddening.
What do you make of the legislators, the squad, the likes of the people in our own American government who are touting the morals of the Palestinians and their side in this, and really in many cases condemning Israel for their responsibility, I guess, in defending themselves? But we have quite the outspoken group of people in our own elected government who don't see Israel as the ally that it has traditionally been.
Ayanna Pressley, who wants to cut off military aid or cut military aid to Israel. I mean, we provide the Iron Dome defense system that has stopped about 90% of these missiles. Ilhan Omar and Rashida Tlaib, when Tlaib got sworn into office and she was doing one of her initial interviews, there was a map of the Middle East on the wall behind her, and she had a yellow Post-it note over top of the state of Israel.
Cory Bush in there too.
Cory Bush. I trying to compare what's going on between Arabs and Jews to the situation between police in America and African Americans. I can't follow their logic, Annie. And, fortunately, while I think it's sad that they have those views, they're entitled to have them. Fortunately, the four of them have never successfully sponsored a single piece of legislation that I'm aware of. Let's just hope it stays that way.
Mark, I was watching video last night of some of the streets in Israel. I think it was North Jerusalem, if I'm not mistaken. It looked like Portland. I mean, it really, if it wouldn't have said Jerusalem, I would have thought, well, this is just an American city, and this is Black Lives Matter, and this is maybe police. I don't know. Fireworks were going off. Are America's problems Israel's problems and vice versa?
Well, the way they're responding to this, potentially, the Israelis don't respond the way America does to this situation. They're not going to put up with it. And in far too many American cities, we've tolerated the middle of Portland being taken over, and Seattle and some of these cities have allowed these zones, these autonomous zones, to be set up. The Israelis a long time ago learned that if you don't act decisively when you're attacked, you'll be wiped out. They have no choice. Americans have forgotten that. And it saddens me that we now have an administration that does not stand with one of our strongest allies, which is Israel. I hope that it doesn't escalate, but unless the Biden administration does something soon and quits waffling, I'm afraid it's going to, Brian.
We're speaking with Marc Cox of the Marc Cox Morning Show, weekdays on 97.1 right here, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. I want to shift, from the foreign policy to the national security issue of our southern border. Seems as though in the revolving door of news headlines that we traditionally cover, that one is on its way out. It'll be right back on its way in again because it still is as much of a concern as it has ever been. I heard on the Brian Kilmeade show earlier today, Kamala Harris, she'd been put in charge, unbeknownst to her possibly, from Joe Biden to take care of this issue on the southern border. And, she's talking about the triangle countries down there that she's going to go visit. Brian Kilmeade said on his show today that 7% of the people who are coming, who are, kept track of now. 7% of those are coming from the Triangle countries. Tons of people are coming from Venezuela and other countries that this Biden administration isn't even addressing. Do you feel as though the Biden administration knows what they're doing on this issue and what is happening is purposeful, or do you feel as though they're bungling the whole thing and they're completely lost?
Completely intentional. It's an intentional disaster. And once it's done, then the damage is done. You know, they've actually gone back, Annie, and tried to undo deportations now that were done during the Trump administration. But the untold story is that a lot of the people who they want to go back and bring back to this country were deported under the Obama-Biden administration. Even I say it backwards. Joe Biden and I we have something in common. These people were legally deported by a judge in the Obama years, but it was never followed through on. So President Trump takes over and starts prosecuting those cases and seeking these people out to deport them. Now President Biden wants to go find them and bring them back to this country. That's the clearest indication that all of this is intentional. They're going down several different paths to cement Democrat leadership and control this country forever. This will be part of it, and that would be bringing these folks in and immediately giving them a path to citizenship. And because they've gotten that citizenship from the Democratic Party, they're going to vote their wallets and their futures when they get here and when they become citizens. And the other side of that is H.R. 1, changing the voting rules so that anybody can vote anytime they want with no proof of ID, no proof of who they are. And then you turn around and you give everybody who has a child $300 a month for every child. The government is paying you a separate salary for having children. We're being attacked on several different sides right now, very intentionally by people who want to cement their control over this country. It's frightening.
Mark, I used to kind of laugh a little bit, of course, but take a little bit of comfort in the old saying that, you know, conservatives are all brain and no heart and liberals are all heart and no brain. But when you talk about this border issue, I mean, that used to be something that I thought, I thought, you know, it makes sense, and it makes sense of the world a little bit. But with this border issue, you would hope that the left would stand up at this point and say, look, maybe okay, we're brainless, but we're all heart. These people are being mistreated worse now under this president than they were under Trump, but they've gone silent. Like, what has happened? What has happened to cause them to no longer care about the issues that they're supposed to care about?
Well, do you think that they don't care, Ryan, or the fact that the partners in the mainstream media don't care, and they haven't made the kind of big deal out of it? I think there are still plenty of mainstream Democrats in this country who aren't happy about what's going on at the border. The problem is the Trojan horse that we put in the White House is now completely controlled by the horde that was inside when he moved in. I mean, he's completely being manipulated. This whole policy is being manipulated. I don't have any doubt about that. I don't think mainstream Democrats support what's going on here, but I also don't think they have the power to do anything about it at this point.
You think the Republican Party is in a position to coalesce around some specific issues to really have some success coming in the next elections? Is Biden enough to make the Republican Party win the elections in 2022?
Yeah, I do think that what he's done is enough, Annie. I really do. I mean, it's historically we see that bounce back. Historically, we see that bounce back in these off election years. I think it's going to be maybe the biggest one we've ever seen this time around. I really believe that. I think Americans are shell shocked. I think the ones that chose not to vote in the last election because they didn't like the way somebody tweeted are now realizing what they abandoned, what they gave up. And I think they're going to try to remedy that if possible in this next election cycle. Boy, I hope so. I really hope so.
you think if Trump comes back, I mean, he obviously doesn't have Twitter and won't have Twitter, but I keep seeing everybody say, man, I could use some $1.89 gas right now and some mean tweets. I mean, it seems as though the consistent criticism, tongue in cheek possibly, of Donald Trump was his rhetoric and his way of speech. Can Donald Trump be Donald Trump without that?
No, probably not. I mean, I think that he's a disruptor. If you ever watched his show, you realize how he ran his operation. He's a disruptor. He likes people to be off guard, and that's how he keeps them off guard. And I don't know that it's not just part of who he is. I mean, it certainly wasn't my favorite part of Donald Trump, although I can't say that I didn't enjoy some of the stuff he said about Nancy Pelosi. It's not the way I would have operated, but yeah, he was effective when you look back. I mean, despite the headwinds that he faced for 4 years, he got a lot accomplished. We didn't have border problems. We were on the verge of Middle East peace. You had Arab states turning against Hamas and the Palestinians and siding with Israel. It was a world of difference. And I hope Americans, I hate that it took it this, but I hope Americans are waking up to it.
Yeah,
I really do.
There are successes all around Donald Trump and his administration. It's just amazing how much his demeanor and his rhetoric is still clouding all of that success when we're in the midst of seeing when the Biden administration does the direct opposite of what Trump did on so many different things, and how drastically and quickly it's destroying a lot of that success. People still care about those mean tweets.
And to hear the HUD Secretary, Marcia Fudge, yesterday saying that when it comes to handing out housing vouchers, these are housing and urban development vouchers, Section 8 vouchers for housing. She will not prioritize United States citizens over illegal citizens. Wow. She doesn't care. If they need a home, she's handing out the free taxpayer money to anybody that wants it. I hope people are paying attention to how outrageous that is.
Mark, we'll be listening in the morning, 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. right here on 97.1 of the Marc Cox Morning Show. Thanks for stopping by.
You bet, Annie. Thank you.
Right. Good luck to your daughter this weekend. Mark going to be a grandpa soon, very soon. Everybody in my life who's pregnant is having their babies. Not that I'm mad about it, but I'm a little mad. Everybody's having their babies. Time will tell. I guess if you want to enter the baby pool, now would be a good time to talk about it. Katie, you got the baby pool stuff up?
Yep. 971talk.com/contest. Go ahead and enter because Annie is desperate. She wants to have this baby now. So you can make that prediction. We
Live on the webcam.
We want the date, the time, the weight, and the length of baby fry number 4. 971talk.com/contest. Get your predictions in. Say today. Maybe it's your day, Annie.
I've got an hour and 40 minutes left to give you, and then I'm free.
And you could win something awesome from New Season Spa and Salon. Thank you guys so much for providing this great gift. And you get a selection, a variety pack of things that you get to choose from if you win that package.
971talk.com/contest. Go enter. I will tell you I'm due June 17th. So that can give you a little head start on what date you might want to pick. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. And we got a couple more guests coming up with author of An Inconvenient Minority. We're going to talk about inclusive math and how it dumbs down curriculum, plus Jim Carafano at 2 o'clock, and a little fun stuff in intermix there. Stick around. More Annie Fry Show in a minute.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show.
It's time for Edwards Carpet's huge Memorial Day sale. Get our lowest prices, 15 months, 0% financing, and for this sale, you'll pay no tax. This is a once-a-year event you don't want to miss.
Come on down to Edwards Carpet Stores.
Stewart's American Mortgage, online at stewartsamc.com, STUARTS, AMC.com. Reach out to Stewie to get your refinance or your home purchase loan started today with the bagel loan. Only place you can get the bagel loan is at Stewie's. And when you go to Stewie, you're going to talk to Stewie. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie runs Stewart's American Mortgage. Stewie is Stewart's American Mortgage. He's got an amazing staff that assists him, and they are the best in the business, and they make you the most competitive person to put in an offer if you're buying a house. When you use the bagel loan to buy a house, no lender fees, no closing costs, no title fees, saving you a boatload of money. Put that towards the offer on your house, or add in their ability to close in like 2 weeks. That's insane. You are going to be the most attractive buyer. Could save you money on that offer, make you the most competitive buyer, and get the house that you've been looking for. If you're looking to refinance, ask about the bagel loan and how it can help you as well. Because when you pay no lender fees, you are going to be able to refinance your house. It's not going to cost you anything. It's no reason not to give him a call or a text today and ask him how the bagel loan can help you. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, Stewart'sAMC.com, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, Chad Hansen with Hansen's Tree Service. Spring is a great time for tree maintenance and removal. At Hansen's Tree Service, we have a full staff of certified arborists that can help you with everything you need when it comes to tree care. Get ahead of spring storms and check us out at hansenstree.com.
The button, a symbol of things made easier. Before buttons, things were much harder, like pull starting an outboard motor.
Come on, you. Come on, you. Come on. Okay, this time you're going to start. Come on.
Or manually opening a garage door.
Oh no, my back.
Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury. If you have payroll tax problems, you have serious legal problems, you need an attorney. Call 314-260-6120 or toll free 888-367-6512 or visit LanceDruryLaw.com.
What's more powerful than a horde of Vikings? Your engine when it's treated with the best diesel additive available. Howe's Diesel Defender with IDX4 detergent is your warrior against low lubricity and harmful deposits. With Viking-like strength, it boosts your fuel economy and protects your engine like no other. Don't settle for the weak guy. Let Howe's Diesel Defender go to battle for you at every fill-up, and your engine will always be the champion, guaranteed. Explore even more at howesproducts.com.
Hi, this is Tracy, president of Acropolis Technology Group. I want to start by recognizing our team's exceptional hard work during this pandemic, and apparently our clients recognize it as well. We were just honored by not winning one Best in Business award, but 4 Best in Business awards. We won Best IT Firm, Best in Cybersecurity, Best in Customer Service, and Best in Value. These 4 awards are a culmination of our team's hard work every single day, all done during the most challenging year we've had in our 24-year history. What these 4 awards tell me is that we are recognized for being experts at our craft. We do it in a friendly way, and our clients see value from partnering with us. I can't think of 4 better awards that summarize what it is we do for our clients each and every week. Acropolis has been helping some of the region's best companies protect, optimize, and grow their businesses now for many years. We have done it for them, and we can help you too. To find out more, give us a call or visit us at acropolistech.com. That's Acropolis, TECH.com. Acropolis, it's a better way to manage IT.
More people are turning to 97.1 FM Talk every day.
It's the place for ideas.
Thank you for being with us in a time like no other. This is St. Louis's own 97.1 FM Talk.
I hear the train a-comin', it's rolling around the bend. And I ain't seen the sunshine since I don't know when. I'm stuck in Folsom Prison, and time keeps dragging on. But that train keeps rolling on down to San Antone.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being here with us. Here's a Gallup poll. It's from 5 days ago, May 13th. Worry about contracting COVID-19 hits new low in the United States. Wouldn't that be considered a good thing, maybe from the get-go, that people are less worried about it? 30% of Americans are worried about getting COVID. 69% think the coronavirus situation in the U.S. is getting better. Strict social distancing at lowest level since pandemic began in the United States. I wonder what it is. Is it the presence of vaccines that causes people to feel comfortable? Is it the actual statistical numbers? Are people COVID fatigued, where they're just over it? What do you think it is?
Gosh,
I don't know that people are watching the numbers that closely, but they are low, and they've been low enough long enough now that despite the media probably not reporting on it enough, that number probably is getting out, and people are starting to feel more comfortable that we're not near the peak that we were. So hopefully it's the actual numbers, but I'm not sure.
You know what? Thank God that you say that, Ryan, because, we talked about how CNN always has the ticker, the little thing, the COVID thing that's like, these are how many people have died because of COVID. These are the case
That's
numbers.
part of that Project Veritas video that they exposed, where the guy was the technical director or whatever he was saying, like, the ticker of COVID deaths equaled ratings for CNN. Put the ticker up on the screen.
Yeah, he was so into it. He's like, that's how we get people to watch. And that alone was one of those things that I remember looking at every single day. And I'm like, is that necessary? Is it necessary that every single day, every single second, we have to see the case number go up and the amount of deaths go up? It's horrifying. And I truly am sorry that this is happening, but like, I can't take any more of this. I can't take it anymore to watch that number go up. And so I think as soon as we got the vaccine, and as soon as, coincidentally, that Project Veritas video came out, that was gone. The COVID caseload was gone off of CNN. And I hope people are looking at the numbers and they're feeling, a sigh of relief. In that same vein, I am just so happy not to see that up on mainstream media anymore. I was just done with it.
Partisan worry about contracting COVID-19, according to this Gallup poll. In February 14th, the middle of February through the 21st, they surveyed Democrats, Independents, and Republicans. So this is February, March, April, May, 3 months ago. 69% of Democrats are worried about contracting COVID-19 in the middle of February. 27%, less than half, of Republicans are. 43% of independents. Now fast forward to April 19th through the 25th, so about a month ago, Democrats went from 69% being worried about COVID-19 down to 43%, which is a pretty decent shift, and Republicans 27% down to 14%. I mean, that's a pretty drastic swing, and good that it is in both camps of the political party. But what a drastic difference. In both cases, more than twice, almost 3 times, at least in April 19th to 25th, almost 3 times the Democrats are worried about getting COVID compared to Republicans. It's a non-discriminatory virus. I mean, it's not going to come after Democrats don't have any reason to be more afraid of the virus. Unless you want to look at numbers and look across the states and see red states and blue states and compare numbers there. I mean, honestly, it seems as though regardless of what people did or didn't do, the numbers have kind of shaken out to be pretty consistent. Look at Florida. Look at how they have been much more aggressive. They prioritize different people. It made more sense, in my opinion, the way Ron DeSantis prioritized who got treatment, who got tested, who got vaccines when they became available. And you compare that to some states that have been locked down significantly, and there's no evidence that there's a significant benefit to the massive lockdowns, which have had an enormous amount of consequence outside of just the public health system. Now, if you live in the state of Illinois compared to the state of Missouri, and you have a governor who he has recently relaxed some of the mask mandates, but it's still a very aggressive way of being in charge of the people who are here and making decisions for the people of Illinois, whereas Missouri's never had a mask mandate at all. You wonder, it's always top of mind. It's always something that is of a concern in the state of Illinois, because you're reminded about it every single place you go. You're being told how you're modifying your life. You're being told what you can do. You're being told what you can't do. When the concern is thrust in your face that way, comparatively speaking to how Katie talks about living in St. Charles County, where life has kind of commenced in the way that it has previously been lived, you can understand why being top of mind all the time in a blue state where Democrats are, that potentially they would have more of a worry or concern about it.
Once we're past the kind of the I don't want to say the height or whenever the pandemic is over, but in that time period, whenever more Americans or more people just around the world start to feel better, will we do studies about how the blue states and the red states handled COVID? And will they be national stories about the way that COVID was handled under these certain areas?
Well, I mean, generally speaking, the history books are written by the winners. And so will that stuff be done? Yeah, it will be done. Will it be studied and followed in the next situation that goes by? I mean, I hate to say this, but look at how much territory has been lost on personal freedom and the responsibility that has been given. The responsibility that exists with the American people to take responsibility, to do what's responsible in your community, but to have some sort of buy-in on that. Suggesting that, when Texas got rid of their mask mandate and Joe Biden said it was Neanderthal thinking, and just this weekend they had 0 COVID deaths for the first time since we've been talking about coronavirus, that is a huge success story. Are the Democrats going to care about that success story? No, they're going to work to minimize it. They've already labeled it as Neanderthal thinking, and they could not have possibly been more wrong. So what it will create is a bunch of studies and a bunch of reports that other people can use in the future to fight with one another. Mm-hmm. And you'll see red states and blue states doing different things and managing the situation once again, and we'll continue to be divided. I mean, I just don't look at our country right now and see anything that unites us. Not a single thing. Is there anything out there right now that brings Americans together cohesively? That doesn't exist.
If anything, that we all kind of acknowledge that China's a problem, but even how we deal. Well,
the president of the United States doesn't acknowledge that China is a problem.
Yeah. Well, I mean, he takes a softer line on it. That's one of the only things I've been kind of encouraged by him, is that he doesn't necessarily treat them, like they're an ally, at least. But I mean, we're talking about really grasping for things here to be encouraged by, because he's not taking a hard line.
I'd like to ask Jim Carafano about that, because I don't know if you would agree with.
Well, his policies are not anywhere near taking a hard stance on them. But I'm glad to see that he's at least somewhat talking the talk on China. But it's so weird. Like the stats, I know you disagree with me, and I probably disagree with myself once I'd see him say something tomorrow. But the stats that you're talking about between Republicans and Democrats, like believing that they're more at risk, more Democrats, twice as many to 3 times as many, believing they're at risk of COVID versus Republicans, just astonishes me. Not because that's surprising, that stat, but I don't know if do you remember seeing like studies and things about the differences in the psychology of Democrats and Republicans in the last 10 years. That's changed, because it used to be that Democrats were the more riskier group. Like they were more willing to take risks and do things outside the box. That stat completely flies in the face of that psychology. Like it's completely flipped from what it used to be.
Mm-hmm. The problem is that the Democratic message on COVID has been one of a great consolidation of efforts. And if you consolidate your efforts, it has to be managed by somebody. And there's nothing Democrats like more than consolidation of power in government. They want government to make choices to provide things for the American people. The classic liberal days of the Democratic Party are history. They are long gone. And honestly, a lot of what conservatism is today is that classic liberalism, which is a kind of a more libertarian live and let live mentality with a conservative spin on it. But in order for in order for the greater good, which is something that we hear a lot, in order for the community to be able to come together and combat something like this, it is an opportunity where I actually, in some cases, agree that we need to come together to beat this thing that is bigger than any one of us can do on our own. So, you know, when it comes to a government, you know, making sure that contracts are honored and providing for the national defense, you know, doing the things that only the government should do, that is the original intent of the government in this country. There is a portion of effort that they can lend to creating something that is better, a better outcome collectively for this country fighting a pandemic. The problem is that we have power hungry people who can be quoted as saying, never let a crisis go to waste, who see this opportunity as a massive power grab to consolidate everybody's concern on this issue, which was very real and very tangible and affected lives all across the United States, all across the globe. As people lost loved ones or people died themselves via COVID because we didn't know what we were dealing with. We didn't know how to fight it. Well, we learned, and the government never let go of that control. And they don't intend to let go of that control. Even the big government Republicans are in the same, you know, they just think big government's okay if it's their version of big government. That's not a Republican conservative mentality. That's not the way Republicans and conservatives are supposed to be representing themselves and representing their people in government. It's a massive power grab, and it is absolutely, in my opinion, going to be studied, to Katie's point, in future ways to use crises to consolidate power, to consolidate reliance on provided security from a government entity, which is paid for by the collective. I mean, we've seen this with the idea, you know, a lot of the racism talk, you know, people talk about reparations, people talk about a redistribution of wealth. We see the same thing when we talk about education. We see the same thing when we talk about public health care. The idea is that the government needs to step in, acquire the resources, and then distribute them in a way that provides equity to everybody involved. That's just not the American way. That's not the way that we were built. Because the responsibility, the onus is supposed to be on you and me, not the government to step in and decide what is good enough for us. I promise you it will never be good enough. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to speak with Kenny Xu, who is an author of Inconvenient Minority, also host of Inconvenient Minority podcast. And he wrote a piece in the Daily Signal entitled Inclusive Math Dumbs Down Curriculum Fails Students Who Need Help Most. I know that education is in that concern that I just listed off there. And I think it's probably the number one battleground where we need to be fighting back on the education that is being provided, influenced by politics. We'll talk with Kenny when we come back. Don't go away.
Seating in a fancy dining car, they're probably drinking coffee and smoking big cigars.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
I know I can't
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. In addition to heating and cooling, Air Comfort Service also offers indoor air quality water heater and AeroSeal duct seal services. Get in your comfort zone with aircomfortservice.com.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. Interest rates are still at historic lows. If you have not taken advantage of today's low rates, what are you waiting for? Whether your goal this year is to refinance to a shorter term, cash out to pay off debt, or maybe remodel your home, maybe purchase your first or even your fifth home, our low rates will save you money. I'm here in St. Louis and want to put my local market experience to work for you. Whether purchasing or refinancing, my goal is to help you save money on your home loan. And when you call, don't be surprised when I answer the phone. Call me today, Michael Mohan, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, 314-336-6050, or online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, 224-143, NMLS 250353. A downturn in business sometimes means employers have to let employees go, but there's an alternative to layoffs called the Missouri Shared Work Program. Eligible employees work reduced hours and receive a partial unemployment benefit. For more information, visit the Missouri Department of Labor at sharedwork.mo.gov.
These days, nearly every small business owner is looking for ways to cut costs. And that's where Spectrum Business comes in. They have the best business internet and phone available at prices that are up to half off what you're paying now. That's right. You can cut costs for your business and get faster internet. Just what small businesses need right now. Call 833-919-2129 and get all the value with none of the nonsense. That's Spectrum Business. 833-919-2129.
Jules on Hampton in St. Louis Hills is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches on site. Jules on Hampton is a premier jeweler with an exquisite selection of diamonds, semi-precious stone jewelry, and vintage watches. Their expert design team can restyle your jewelry to today's contemporary style. They also do jewelry and watch repair. Need extra cash? Jules on Hampton is paying some of the highest prices on gold, silver, diamonds, semi-precious colored stones, and fine watches. Bring in your collectibles and clocks, sports memorabilia, and figurines too. Jules on Hampton, 4506 Hampton, just 3 blocks south of Chippewa. Call them at 314-752-5000. Jules on Hampton.
I'm Eric Robert with Stifel. The economy is always changing, but what does it mean for your investments? Join me and fellow Stifel financial advisor Bob Stockdale during On the Money, Saturday mornings from 11 until noon on 97.1 FM Talk. Stifel, member NYSE and SIPC.
Hello, home lovers. Let's plan an awesomely successful visit to your lovely home with samples and ideas for stylish, elegant custom window fashion, designer fabrics, drapery, blinds, shades, and shutters. Just contact Michael at ProctorDrapery.com. 7 days. It's Proctor, spelled like doctor.
Proctor Drapery, the best in town. No finer window fashion can be found. Call for an appointment at your home. Spell Proctor like doctor.
Okay, I admit I'm somewhat of a foodie. I'm also really busy and hate making trips to the store. So I was excited to discover Imperfect Foods. They're an online grocer selling sustainable, affordable groceries, and they deliver them right to my door each week. With hundreds of items and new discoveries each week, you'll find delicious products of all kinds from the basics to specialty items, like the dark chocolate-covered pretzel pieces. They're a must-have. Sign up today, use the code STL, and get 20% off your first 4 orders, up to $80 in savings. That's code STL at imperfectfoods.com.
The Marc Cox Morning Show.
Jimmy Fallon. I think the media is failing the left too, because it doesn't benefit them to have idiots in power who go unchecked. But that's very much what's going on right now.
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
I had a dream, we were sipping whiskey neat, highest floor of the Bowery, and I was high enough. Somewhere along the lines.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for spending some of your time with us this Tuesday afternoon. We're grateful that you're here. I want to get to our guest. Kenny Xu is a DC-based writer focusing on identity politics, also author of the upcoming book, An Inconvenient Minority, the Ivy League Admissions Case, and the Attack on Asian American Excellence. Kenny, it's a pleasure to have you here on the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for your time today.
Oh, thank you, Annie. I appreciate it.
Of course. You know, you wrote this article entitled Inclusive Math Dumbs Down Curriculum Fails Students Who Need Help Most. There are so many conversations surrounding the education of our youth today. And this is one that just has it blows my mind that this is even a discussion. Tell me what inclusive math is and the consequence of this wokeness entering our kids' classrooms.
Absolutely. So inclusive math, or the idea of inclusive math, it stems from this idea that students and kids learn math differently. And particularly different races of kids learn math differently and need to be taught differently. So inclusive math what they want to do is they want to apply racial equity principles onto math. And one of the things that they really want to do is they actually want to get rid of advanced math courses, because they think that getting advanced math courses cause, white and Asian kids particularly to get ahead of Black and Hispanic kids when, really they should be focused on catering to the lowest common denominator. So I wrote an article about that.
Wow. Kenny, I want to ask you, when teachers, because the education system has to flood through the teachers, the ones who are actually, accessing these kids and knowing what these kids' capabilities are. Are these teachers being told or instructed to look at the kids they're teaching and first see their skin color or their race before they engage in teaching? And in consequence with that, does the race of the child affect where that kid gets placed in the future potentially? You talk about advanced math. Are we in a position now where a teacher might be put into the position to look for kind of a affirmative action way of putting kids into an advanced math that may not be prepared for it because of their skin color?
They really are, and it's really hurting young Black and Latino kids because now you have schools like UT Austin. They established a Center for Mathematics Pathways. It basically says some students are just not going to be computational people. And obviously that has severe racial implications. And so it suggests for these non-computational people, these so-called non-computational math pathways, where instead of learning calculus in 12th grade and algebra 1 in 8th grade, basic math curricula skills, they're instead learning fun with numbers and math and, farming applications and things like that. And, while this might be nice as an extracurricular activity, if a student doesn't get a solid standardized curriculum of math, they're going to fall behind their peers in college, in the workforce. They're going to have lower self-esteem, lower self-confidence. I don't see how this helps anyone.
Kenny Xu is author of An Inconvenient Minority and host of a podcast by the same name. I was reading your article on this topic, and fascinating to hear you talk about just what you're talking about at the end there with the achievement gap, that we're basically saying white and Asian kids, you're held to this standard. We expect you to perform at this level. If you're brown or Black, you don't have to perform at that same level. Doesn't that serve to just segregate people further and hold people of color down more by holding them to lower standards?
Yeah, this is exactly what I investigate with my book, An Inconvenient Minority. The subtitle is The Attack on Asian American Excellence. And what is going on in our country right now? This is an ideology that stems from Harvard University, which my book investigates practices discriminatory admissions processes against Asian Americans. They hold Asian Americans to a much higher standard, 440 points higher on the SAT to have the same chance of admission as a Black student. And this is the same ideology that's ripping now through our K-12 grade schools. The theorists at Harvard and Harvard Law School and the Ivy Leagues have leached down and leaked into our education system, and now it's coming into places that it really shouldn't even be in the first place, like math.
Kenny, with your research, with your book, what you've looked into and what you've discovered, what's the way to push back on this, to fight for an equality that exists, to make sure that the kids who are achieving a certain level get access to the benefits of the product of their labor, the achievements that they have earned? How can parents fight back against this new mentality that, makes even math a subjective subject?
I think that parents need to show that what they're advocating for, which is, giving math instruction that is tailored to the kid's skill and success level, right? I think every parent wants their child to have a challenging curriculum, and every parent wants their child to have a curriculum that befits their talents and expertise, right? So instead of going over and saying, let's dumb down the top most talented people like white and Asian people, maybe, we should look at what are the factors that are causing some of these Asian Americans, especially, to succeed at math. And then how can we apply that in our own education system? Asian Americans study 2 times as many hours as the average student in America today. It's not the fact that Asian Americans are innately genetically good at math. It's the fact that their culture breeds a capability in math, and that maybe we should apply those same principles into our education system to help boost prospects for every race.
Kenny, if people want to is it a pre-order right now for your book, An Inconvenient Minority?
Yeah, it's a pre-order for the book, yes.
Where can they go to check out the research and effort that you've put into this so far?
Well, this book is coming out on July 13th, and I would encourage your listeners to pick up a copy on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Walmart, everything, wherever you can buy books, it's coming out. And I'm really excited to share this story about this repression of a long ignored political minority, but then also how ordinary Asian Americans are really fighting back and saving our culture and saving our meritocracy. So I'm really grateful to present that to your listeners.
Well, we are grateful for it as well. I want to mention as well that you're the host of An Inconvenient Minority podcast. People can check that out and check you out at Kenny MXU on Twitter. Kenny, thanks for being here. We appreciate the conversation.
Thank you, Annie. Thank you.
Of course. I look at the barrage of things that are affecting public education right now, education as a whole. I put this up on the Facebook page, the Annie Fry Show Facebook page. I highly encourage you to go check it out. Amendment 2 to HB 2789 in the state of Illinois is the one that works to, according to the bill, provides that the department shall establish requirements by rule for providing in-person instruction at non-public schools and public schools that include but are not limited to personal protective equipment, cleaning and hygiene, social distancing, occupancy limits, symptom screening, so on and so forth. But this is an effort in the state of Illinois, a very blue state, of course, to try to infiltrate the non-public school system, which includes private school, parochial school, potentially homeschooling as well. You can read the House Floor Amendment number 2 that I posted, screenshot the bill right up there. These are the types of things where when you feel helpless and you feel hopeless because you're hearing things about your kids being taught inclusive math where there isn't a right answer. The math is great because there is a right answer. There is an answer. That's one of the very few places where you can go and get a definitive answer. Well, not any longer. And they're prioritizing and elevating students and teaching teachers to look at students just based on the color of their skin. This is a very, very backwards endeavor that we are dedicated to right now. This House Amendment bill, if you want to check it out, is on the Annie Fry Show page. These are opportunities for you to get involved, to call your representatives. Same thing with the inclusive math. We're going to talk to Jim Carafano in just a minute. Don't go away.
Marc Cox here. Guys, let Victory Men's Health help you regain your vitality by optimizing your hormones, vitamins, and sexual health. Victory Men's Health has the most cutting-edge technologies to treat ED. They have wave therapy. Listen, this is the biggest advancement for men with ED since the launch of Viagra. That's pretty incredible. They do the treatments in their office. Victory Men's Health offers wave therapy in both their Illinois and Missouri location. Check them out online today at victorymenshealth.com.
Diamonds Direct has enough diamonds right now to supply up to 30 ordinary jewelry stores, from a half carat to 10 carats. Rare, precious diamonds in all shapes, straight from the world's best diamond cutters. At Diamonds Direct, diamonds are our business, our specialty, our focus. That's why we can guarantee the best diamond selection and the best diamond prices every day, every week, every year. Diamonds Direct. Get store hours, directions, and more at diamondsdirect.com.
A reading from the Golden Oak Lending Book of Mortgage Lingo.
What is a cash out refi? It's using the equity in your home to pay off high interest credit cards. Paid it off! Yes! I'm James Hawkins, president of Golden Oak Lending. With mortgage rates at a low 2.25%, you can save hundreds each month and skip your next 2 payments. You'll pay nothing out of pocket, and we never charge for a home appraisal if we can't close your loan. And remember, our local lending experts speak mortgage and love translating for our customers. Eliminating debt means putting your dreams back on the table today.
Updated bathroom?
Updated bathroom and a pool table?
Don't push it, Rick.
Get started with our fast and easy zipline tool at goldenoaklending.com.
NMLS 114937, 2.25% fixed, 3.195% APR. FHA 15-year mortgage with 20% equity and approved credit. 11737 Administration Drive, St. Louis, Missouri.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, healthcare, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, the 9 critical decisions when retiring before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
KFTK FM Florissant, driven by the Bomarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk.
An Odyssey station.
A sneak peek for the president. Lisa Brady, Fox News. He's using the new version of a popular truck to help pitch his infrastructure plan. Fox's Jeff Manasso following this live.
Lisa, President Biden got a first-hand look at the all-new electric Ford F-150 Lightning ahead of tomorrow's unveiling at the company's manufacturing plant in Dearborn, and as he pushes for more electric investments.
Look, the future of the auto industry is electric. There's no turning back. The real question is whether we'll lead or we'll fall behind in the race to the future.
The president calls for building more electric cars and trucks, their batteries and charging stations in the U.S. He also efforts more support for his $1 trillion infrastructure plan that Republicans have criticized as too broad and too expensive. Lisa.
Thanks, Jeff. A group of Senate Republicans presenting a less expensive plan to administration officials today. Amazon reportedly deciding to extend a moratorium on police use of its facial recognition software, telling Reuters it's now off the table until further notice. The company had issued a 1-year moratorium last June amid mass protests for racial justice. A county prosecutor in North Carolina says no charges will be filed against sheriff's deputies for the killing of Brown, who tried to flee as a warrant was being served. The prosecutor says he drove toward deputies, putting them at risk. The family disputes that.
As we came out of the courthouse here and talked to some of the prosecutors, the NAACP local president here in Pasquotank County, Keith Rivers, called it justice will be done, but he says what he saw today was not justice. He's frustrated and angry, and he says ultimately, if it has to be decided at the ballot box, then that is how it will be decided.
Fox's Griff Jenkins in Elizabeth City. Just getting word that actor Charles Grodin has died, a career spanning decades in TV and film, including the movies Midnight Run, The Heartbreak Kid, and the Beethoven comedies. Charles Grodin was 86. He had bone marrow cancer. America's listening to Fox News.
Want the truth on why I wake up looking so darn awesome? I take care of my skin. Not just my face, but more intimate skin. And when you've got incontinence, you sure need to.
Tena Intimates pads lock liquid in and are now 100% breathable to care for your intimate skin, day or night. Tena Intimates are now endorsed by the Skin Health Alliance. Visit tenasample.com for your free sample. Kind to skin, protects like Tena.
I hired Nuptial Num-Nums to cater my wedding, and it was a disaster. Everyone was raving about the food instead of my dress.
No matter how hard you work for your small business, online reviewers will find something to complain about.
They're like, oh, Veronica, the lamb chops. Did the lamb chops fly you out to Cancun?
And while Progressive can't save you from these trolls, we can help you save money on commercial, auto, and business insurance.
I will not be hiring them for my next wedding.
Get a quote online today at progressivecommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliated and third-party insurers.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Weather patterns just stuck across much of the nation, and we are stuck with lots of clouds with scattered showers, some light drizzle and mist. Breezy 75 for the high this afternoon. Tonight, a couple of showers in the early evening, but most of the night is going to be rain-free. Lots of clouds, though, 65. Wednesday, cloudy skies, breezy again. Scattered showers and some non-severe thunderstorms around. Temperatures close to 80. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Presented by Rocket Mortgage.
Need to know what it takes for a home loan to fit your budget and your family? Rocket can. When you need an expert to help navigate the home loan process, Rocket can.
Springtime in St. Louis, and if you hate to paint, do what your neighbor Mr. Rob Miller from Harvesttown Auto Body in St. Peters did. He called Rhino Shield. Rob, what was the thought process for going with Rhino Shield as a business owner?
My family's business is over 10,000 square feet, and it did not have the curb appeal I wanted.
Rob, tell everyone how the experience was with Rhino Shield from start to finish.
The process that I liked was when you came out, you gave me all of these options that would fit my building. Our building was really faded. I don't want to have to paint my building again. 25 years is a long time to not have to worry about the outside maintenance of your building as far as paint. That's a no-brainer. That's why Rhino Shield worked for me.
Are your neighbors jealous?
I would be if I was them.
Thanks, Rob. Now it's time to call 877-25-RHINO, 877-25-RHINO, or 877-25rhino.com. Genius.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for the Gelman team, and let's talk real estate right now. It is crazy, but you still need experts to guide you through this nutty market. In selling a home, luxury is not a price point, it's an experience. With Mark and Neil Gelman, everyone gets the same marketing that sells more homes over $400,000 in the St. Louis area. Currently, there aren't many houses on the market. You've heard about it. Houses are selling fast, many times tens of thousands over list. So it's a hot market, complex, multiple offers. You need experienced agents you can trust to navigate through all the offers and leverage the best deal with the highest return. If you're looking for your dream home, well, the Gelmans have programs to help you buy it with cash in hand from your home and with non-contingent offers. Call the Gelmans today at 314-336-1991 or online at thegelmanteam.com. Mark and Neil sell homes in every price range and location. If you can hear me, the Gelmans can sell your home. 336-1991. Even easier, just Google them. The Gelman team. Certain restrictions apply.
Hi, this is Curtis Barks. I am the owner of Complete Auto Body and Repair, here to tell you about our touchless automotive service. If you're experiencing the constant struggles of having the kids home from school or just want more of that family time where you can listen to them teach you about what they do every day, we provide touchless automotive service, return the vehicle to you clean and ready to go in the comfort of your own home. Check us out online at CompleteAB.com for more information. If it's not perfect, it's not complete. Others can't compete with Complete Auto Body.
Dad, and service.
Oh yeah, and service.
He fixed the car.
Warm weather's a great time to train a new puppy. Marc Cox here for my friends at Petland in Lake St. Louis. They've got the puppies. If you've had a hard time finding one, go to petlandstl.com or just pay them a visit. 6131 Ronald Reagan Drive out in Lake St. Louis. Puppies have been hard to come by, but the owners, Tom and Jeff, have amazing relationships. They can offer the best selection of puppies in Missouri. Again, 636-695-4503, petlandstl.com.
I'm listening daily. Here's Dr. Joshua Claypo on managing stress.
Take time to recalibrate is the term I like to use. That may mean 2 or 3 minutes of just stepping back, but you don't have to do it for a day. You may need to do it, 6 times every hour so that you are staying engaged and you're not feeling like you're pulling yourself away and there's this desire to be pulled back, because then you create a whole new stressor for yourself.
For more details, go to imlistening.org.
Odyssey is your new home for all the audio that matters to you. Anytime, anywhere. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk wherever you go. The Annie Fry Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show. The violence between Israel and the militant group Hamas showed no signs of slowing on Tuesday,
despite U.S. and other global efforts to stop the region's fiercest hostilities. Gaza health officials said the Palestinian death toll has risen above 200 people after more than a week of Israeli airstrikes and artillery fire. Within Israel, 10 people have also lost their lives.
Reuters reporting on the conflict in the Middle East that we've been talking with our guest, Jim Carafano, about for a couple, 9 days now is how long this has been lasting. Jim, welcome back to the show. It's great to have you here.
Yeah, great to be with you. I wish you could be under better circumstances, but it does seem like, the good old days when we didn't have gas lines and there was peace in the Middle East and no inflation. They just seem forever ago now.
Yeah, I'm old enough to remember those days. It was just last year, 2 years ago. I want to ask you to kind of explain what's going on, at least now that we're more than a week into this conflict here. I'm hearing, President Biden suggests he would like to have a mutual ceasefire. Netanyahu saying he's not interested in a ceasefire right now. What is the methodology behind what Israel is doing to defend themselves, and what the Biden influence is right now on trying to push that peace back into the Middle East?
Right. So from the Israeli perspective, is if this conflict terminates in a way that Hamas's hand is strengthened, that's actually not only bad for Israel, that's the worst possible outcome for Palestinians, because among other things is Hamas has no use for anybody that is interested in any future other than the destruction of Israel. So they want to completely divorce themselves from the West Bank, the Palestinian Authority, any commitments they made to living with Israel in the Oslo Accords, and adopt the most radical, aggressive policy towards Israel as possible, and as part of that, lean as heavily as possible on the people that would support them, which is Iran, which wants to destroy Israel, and any elements of the Muslim Brotherhood, which are the font really of all the Islamist terrorism in the region. So if Walt Disney were the devil, then this would be, Hamas would be like the Disneyland, making Gaza the Disneyland for the devil, essentially creating something that looks akin to the ISIS caliphate in the heart of Israel. So Israel cannot afford to let this conflict terminate in a way that leaves Hamas in a better position than when it started.
Yeah, Jim, I was going to ask you about that. Is this a situation, as we talk about, well, maybe we're winding this thing down, maybe the end is in sight. Is this something that no matter how it ends, it's not really ending? We're just going to wait for the next one to boil up again?
Well, look, I mean, part of the answer to that is the United States. The worst case scenario, which is indeed possible, because the administration is just trying to put a lid on this thing. Let's be honest. They're not out to get peace in our time. Right? They're just trying to put a lid on this thing because they've got HR 1 and a bunch of bills they want to get passed. The worst case scenario is this devolves into an intifada, which means essentially a case of a permanent civil war, which would last for months or maybe years, and would essentially be disruptive to the region for half a decade. What that'll mean is a resurgence of transnational terrorism, the emergence of more influence of meddling powers like China and Russia, completely dangerous and unpredictable. That's the worst case scenario. The best case scenario is everybody just muddles through on this and they go back to their corners and nothing's solved. That's the best this administration can give you. Trump gave you essentially peace and a prosperous future. This guy the bomb won't blow up today. And here's the problem long term with what Biden's trying to do is, beyond the impulse of just getting this thing off the front pages and don't bother me, kid. What do they want? Well, they want a Palestinian-Israeli peace process. They want to engage Iran. They nominally want to support normalization of relations between the Arabs and the Israelis. They recognize that they have to have Israel as a strategic ally, and they also want to placate their own party, which includes a number of people who are anti-Semitic and anti-Israel, and would just as soon turn the entire Middle East over to the Muslim Brotherhood. What's wrong with that agenda? All those goals are like not compatible. As a matter of fact, they actually push against each other. So what they want to do long term is completely unworkable. That's a problem from two aspects. One is they're not going to get anywhere, and the other is the bad guys know this, and they're going to exploit this as an opportunity to push buttons against the Israelis and the Americans both.
We're speaking with Jim Carafano, who is Heritage Foundation's Vice President for Foreign and Security Policy. I want to ask you about what I've heard, and I don't even think I qualify as a layman. This is 101 stuff for me, and you can give us your expertise on this. But I continue to hear about how Palestinians strategically place themselves in locations where, when attacked, they're attacking from these locations surrounded by, women and children, or schools or churches, or whatever these very vulnerable targets would be for Israel to strike back, knowing that Israel will strike back, and the damage that is done will be a terrible headline for Israel to bear. Is that an accurate description of what's going on? And my follow-up question to it is, if everybody knows this, then do the congresswomen who are advocating for Palestine and trying to talk about how Israel is out killing these children, do they know it too? Are they fully aware of what's going on and how war is done with Hamas?
Right. Well, look from Hamas's perspective. They know they can't win this war. So why are they picking a war that they know they're going to lose? Because losing and winning is not important to them. They only exist for the struggle. This is a corrupt terrorist organization. Its only justification for being around is the destruction of Israel. If everybody's going to get along with Israel, they have no purpose to exist. So they have to inflame people against Israel, and the only way they can do that is by having Palestinian blood in the street. And it doesn't matter who kills it. It doesn't matter if they kill them. It doesn't matter if their people have to die, and there has to be blood in the streets. So they have an excuse to struggle on. It's like, if you think back to the time of Troubles, right? The IRA, if they went to a bar, they saw a Catholic and a Protestant having a beer together, they'd shoot both of them. Because the important thing is that the struggle, it's about the struggle. People can't get along, because if people can get along, then you don't need me. So Hamas has to have war, and they have to have blood, because they have to get people outraged. So yes, they specifically organize their operations to ensure that Palestinian civilians die. That's part of the game. They have to get their own people killed.
They
have to create martyrs. And of course, the people that support them know this. But look, these are the same people that support Black Lives Matter and Antifa. And they know that Black Lives Matter go into neighborhoods, and they have nothing to do with protecting Black lives. It's all about rioting and destroying small businesses. And they don't care. They don't care that Antifa is actually fascist. They don't care that Black Lives Matter don't care about Black lives. And they certainly don't care that Hamas doesn't care about the lives of the Palestinian people. It's the narrative that they've embraced. They have a warm, cuddly, progressive blanket that they can wrap around themselves. They say, I empathize, I'm noble. It doesn't matter if it's actually perpetuating evil. That's not the important thing here.
Jim Carafano, when you talk about the long-term strategy and the best case scenario being not really that best case, looking past this administration, let's say we get a person in office that either Trump or somebody like Trump who embraces the same policies in the Middle East that he was pushing. Is it possible to go back to peace under those policies, or is this doing that kind of permanent damage that we can't even go back?
Yeah, this is the amazing thing about reality. It actually is consistent. If you consistently do things that don't work, they don't work. So Obama policies failed in the Middle East. Biden re-implemented Obama policies, and guess what? They failed. Trump's policies actually worked. If you reinstitute them, guess what? They'll probably work. It's really kind of that simple.
Jim, I want to ask you about again, I'm hoping that I'm hearing this correctly. Absolutely correct me if I'm wrong. Is there a philosophy or a strategy behind Netanyahu's leadership in this situation to allow Hamas to send whatever they got to deplete their resources? Maybe that is a purpose behind not wanting the ceasefire to happen immediately?
Well, no, it's not about depleting their resources, because you know what? They fired thousands of rockets at Israel. The estimates are they've shot off about 10% of their arsenal. So you're not going to, that's not going to happen. But what they are doing is in exposing themselves, you can go after the missiles, the tunnels, the leadership. Look, it doesn't solve the problem, and Netanyahu knows that. But in this part of the world, people respect action, not words. And so Israel demonstrating that it can defend itself and demonstrating that it can put a punishing defeat on Hamas, that's not going to stop people, but it's going to show them Israel's not a pushover. And that's really, honestly, that's the best thing you can do. It's like if you pick a fight with a bully in the schoolyard, you might break a tooth or get your nose broken or whatever else. But you know what? At the end of that thing, everybody in the yard's going to know that you're somebody that's going to defend themselves, and they'll think differently about you next time you walk up to the swing set.
Yeah. President Biden not seeming to take a hard line on this issue, and he has spoken out previously in support of Israel. He has pushed back against anti-Semitic movements in the country before, but not being aggressive on this issue right now. Do you believe that's because of homeland political pressure, or is he just trying to be isolationist here?
I think it's both. I think he finds foreign policy a distraction, and he just wants it to go away. He, in supporting Israel, he actually goes against his own party, and so that's a difficult thing to do. On the other hand, Israel is a critical strategic ally, and he can't abandon them, and he knows that. So he's just trying to get by. It worked for Forrest Gump, but that was a movie.
Jim, you're so right. You're so spot on. And I'm watching Katie take down all the notes of what you're saying here to put it together so we can share it with our social media outlets after we're done. And we just appreciate your insight on this issue so much.
And you are lucky to have Katie.
Oh,
I know. Too good for you guys. I'll tell you that.
I've been telling everybody who can give her a raise. That is the actual case. Jim, thank you.
Yeah.
We'll talk to you again soon.
Good talking to you.
Bye-bye. Jim Carafano is Heritage Foundation's Vice President for Foreign and Policy and National Security, and we are always grateful to have him here. The insight on these issues and the straight shooting. I mean, he said there, Antifa is fascist. Black Lives Matter doesn't believe that Black Lives Matter, and the people, these terrorists in the Middle East attacking Israel, don't care about the lives of Palestinians. And then we are supposed to sit here and listen to our Congress people, including Cori Bush right here from St. Louis, talk to us about the plight of the Palestinian people and how Israel is somehow responsible for this, when the people, the terrorists that are in Hamas are directing this fire at these innocent people, these innocent Palestinians. I mean, it's just a gaslight. It's like it's a ruse. Everything that you see and everything that is pushed so aggressively in your face with these aggressive, far fringe movements, it's hypocritical. It's hard to take. I just love talking to Jim Carafano. Let's take a quick break. Go follow him on Twitter and tell him thanks for coming on the show, if you don't mind, at JJ Carafano. And you can learn more about the Heritage Foundation at heritage.org. All right, we got to wrap up the show here with another couple segments coming up. You won't want to miss it. Join us in the live stream, facebook.com/Annie Fry Show, the Annie Fry YouTube channel. We'll be right back.
I get a little bit closer to feeling fine.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Talk lines are open now at 314-241-9797 or 866-455-9797.
She was born on a Tuesday night.
Tune in to Right at Home with Rich every Saturday from noon to 1 p.m. This Mosby Building Arts Home Show covers topics ranging from design and architecture to remodeling and home maintenance. For answers to all of your home questions, don't miss Right at Home with Rich, brought to you by Mosby Building Arts.
You know why women love Diamonds Direct? Because they can always get a ring they're proud to wear.
I was able to get everything, the most perfect diamond I could ever want. It's just my dream ring that I thought I would never be able to afford.
You cannot beat the value that Diamonds Direct gives you.
It kind of took my breath away when I did see how big that diamond was.
You have to put your sunglasses on to look at this. It's just gorgeous. We're amazed at the quality we got for the price.
But way beyond the ring, women love the Diamonds Direct experience. It's personal, it's caring, it's authentic, and it's fun.
fun.
It's people that are pretty much family, honestly, at this point. I'm not even joking. It sounds like an exaggeration, but they're so warm and welcoming.
And they were so nice and so down to earth, and we just felt like family.
Very laid back. Not one time did we feel like we were being pressured. Not one time did we feel like we were being asked to extend a budget we did not have.
Just make you feel so at home, and you just feel comfortable shopping. It's just a great place to shop. I mean, I love it.
Discover the difference for yourself. Diamonds Direct. Your love, our passion. Olive and 270 at City Place.
Don't you cry no more.
Carry on all the way to your locally owned Meineke, your one-stop shop for total car care. With Meineke e-inspection, you'll know the problem and the fix. We'll send real-time updates, photos, and technician notes straight to your phone. Book online today and get a $21.95 basic oil change. Engine, brakes, tires, oil. Meineke, doing car care right. At participating locations, terms and conditions apply.
The button, a symbol of things made easier. Before buttons, things were much harder, like pull starting an outboard motor.
Come on, you. Come on, you. Come on. Okay, this time you're going to start. Come on.
Or manually opening a garage door.
Oh no, my back.
Or even treating sleep apnea. If you've tried CPAP but struggle to get a good night's sleep, relief can be as easy as a button with Inspire.
Inspire is a sleep apnea treatment that works inside your body with just the click of a remote. That's right, a button. As you sleep, Inspire keeps you breathing normally and sleeping peacefully. No mask, no hose, just sleep. To learn more, visit inspiresleep.com. That's inspiresleep.com. Inspire, sleep apnea innovation. Inspire is not for everyone. Talk to your doctor to see if it's right for you and review important safety information at inspiresleep.com.
If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis can pay you cash and close in as little as 5 days. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is your most trusted home buyer. We buy houses in any condition, any price range, and in any location in the St. Louis metro. Call 314-782-5000. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis buys inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses, and even those my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis today. Vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis at 314-782-5000. That's 314-782-5000. 314-782-5000.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for CertaPro Painters, and if you have a painting job that's on your to-do list, don't do it yourself. You're going to do something that's a lot more fun than painting, and you're going to go with CertaPro Painters, and they're going to do a great job. They're going to knock it out of the park. This is for house painting, commercial painting. They do it all. They transform homes and businesses by providing expert services with a proven process. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Get started today. A free estimate is just a couple of clicks away. CertaPro.com. That's CertaPro.com. Certa with a C. Get with CertaPro today. Tell them that I sent you over. CertaPro Painters.
Bringing you up-to-the-minute traffic like nobody else. Sue Thomas and dependable traffic, driven by Ambassador Midwest Floor Company. The best way to deal with in-home traffic. Experience more at Ambassador Midwest Floor.
Well, I think your day's about to get better. What if I were the one to tell you that the work's already been done? It's not good news, it's the best news ever. Some say don't ask for help. God helps the ones who help themselves. So press on.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. I feel like we've covered a lot of ground today. A lot of different subjects that we've talked about. And when I start to feel like maybe we've exhausted the subjects that are out there to discuss, we usually do one thing here on the Annie Fry Show. We go to Yahoo to see what they're talking about over there. Now, this is a segment that we do specifically to go see, because, Katie, you do look at Yahoo now because it's your home screen.
Yes. Yeah. I look at a lot of Yahoo.
So I never look at Yahoo except for to do this segment. Ryan, you said you dabble in Yahoo?
I like to see what they think I'll be interested in, because I never let them know what my politics are. So like to see like what they
know.
decide I would like.
The whole internet knows. I mean, like, have you ever been totally creeped out by an ad or a story that gets served to you when you're searching things? It's all interconnected, and it's all based on selling you stuff. Everything knows. All right, well, let's see here, Ryan. You got a story you ready to rock and roll with?
Sure. This is a story about long work hours. It says long work hours are killing hundreds of thousands of people a year, according to the World Health Organization.
Oh.
The first global study of its kind showed that 745,000 people died in 2016 from stroke and heart disease due to long work hours.
How could you possibly connect those things? Because if you work long work hours, but you love what you do, that's different than working long work hours and hating what you do.
That's the first thing I thought too. I think that because it's a world study, though, they're saying that this is focused on people in Southeast Asia and Western Pacific region, which are the most effective. I think they're talking more about like physical labor probably than just, working long office hours, which is what the headline implies. But
I could see working long office hours too. Like if you're sitting on your duff all the time. I mean, obesity is one of the main causes of COVID deaths, but nobody wanted to talk about that because it was inconvenient to talk about at the time. But I could see how it could work on both sides. I just wonder, it's like that. What is it? Not causation is not the same as, what's the phrase the smart people
I know
say?
what you mean, right? What is that?
I don't have
Randy
pregnancy
Tobler
brain
says
too
it all
much.
the time.
Well, that thing that Tobler says about, yeah.
Ryan, sorry.
Correlation,
yeah.
is not causation. Thank you.
Ryan, what does it classify as long hours? Does it say in that article?
Yeah, so it doesn't even specify what job you have to be working. It just says that people working 55 hours or more a week are 35% higher risk of stroke and 17% higher risk of dying from heart disease, which I guess that kind of makes sense. Like you could make that
stress
connection to stress.
No sleep. You're probably not getting a lot of sleep.
I wonder if it's been worse in 2020 too because of
2022
that's happened in 2020.
I mean, David, whenever he worked at Menards, he was pushing like 60 hours a week at one point. Even more whenever he was helping open up a store in Brentwood, he was pushing like helping open up that store. It was like 4 or 5 months of
That's
like
stressful.
65 to 70 hour work weeks. And then it kind of started to slowly get back into something normal. But even watching him, I mean, he'd come home, he'd eat, he'd shower and go to bed. And then the next morning have to wake up and do that same thing. And it was like maybe 2 or 3 hours where he was actually awake at home, able to do what he found enjoyable or to hang out with me, which I hope he classifies as something enjoyable, or maybe he doesn't. Normal. But you know what I mean? Like he got to do something that he wanted to do for a very short period of time. And then he was just right back to work. I think a lot of people in retail, probably the restaurant business, if they're management, they probably feel that pretty hard.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, I could see how that would the quantification of hours versus leading to your physical health. I'm sure has there's got to be so many factors that go into determining what that actual health outcome is. But okay, cool story, Ryan. On Yahoo, Katie? What's your Yahoo story?
In the category of gross stories we kind of hoped we'd never have to think of, Kurt Cobain's hair was recently put up to auction.
What?
Yes.
Whoa.
So it's a crazy story. His hair was recently put up for auction and has officially sold for more than, can you guys guess the amount?
$500,000.
Not that. Not quite. I'm
Okay,
going to say lower. I'll say lower.
I would have said higher, but I'll say 200,000.
No, very low. $14,000. $14,000.
Who was the who wants to be the person who delivers Kurt Cobain's hair to the person who would buy Kurt Cobain's
and
hair?
It's only like 6 strands of hair. So the winning bid was $14,145 in the Amazing Music auction. It secured 6 strands of hair that were cut by the Nirvana frontman's friend Tessa Osborne while they were in England on the Bleach tour in October 1989.
That's early.
Okay. So it's weird that someone's buying 6 strands of Kurt Cobain's hair.
Still has them?
It is even weirder to me that the person that cut his hair in 1989 kept 6 strands of his hair.
This has been like scientifically tested.
It has to be scientifically tested. There's got to be a sample of DNA confirming that this is his hair. The buyer was either a bit of a stalker-ish super fan who needed to do an actual piece.
Let's meet the person who's psycho, the one who doesn't have 6 strands of his hair.
And they said, and this of course is an editorial piece. It's on Yahoo Entertainment, but they said the person is probably a stalker, a mad scientist, or some kind of warlock that's trying to bring Kurt Cobain back. But none of us ever want to find out, because this is the creepiest story that you could ever read, that someone would pay that much money for 6 strands of someone else's hair.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. There's nobody's hair in the world that I want 6 strands of.
Absolutely
None.
not.
There's not a single person who walks the face of this earth that, and if I found out somebody was interested in my hair, restraining order, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. Here's my. No, go ahead.
Well, just really, really quick, like that. Being a Nirvana fan, that's really weird that she would have cut that and held on to it that long from the Bleach era, because that was before they were big.
That's what I heard too. I heard that was like,
if it was after Nevermind, then I could see it, because you think, oh, this is maybe going to be worth something someday. You'd hang on to it and then sell it 33 years later. But for to cut it and keep it before they were famous, that's even creepier.
How do you even know that they're going to be famous?
Christopher on Facebook says, I would buy it for $14,000, put it into art, take a picture, and sell the NFT for $250,000.
There you go.
Christopher, you're a smart dude.
There we go.
Yep.
All right. Here's my story here. We can weigh in on this. I had 2 stories and I shifted to this one. Dad's strict cell phone rules embarrass teen daughter. Quote, it's creepy and invasive. So this is on Yahoo, and I'm going to read a little bit of this to you. A parent forced his 17-year-old daughter's friend to follow the strict cell phone rules that his family follows, which the daughter's friend's parents called creepy and invasive. The parent told this story on Reddit's Am I the A-hole page to see if Redditors agreed with the controversial rule enforcement. The poster shared that they have 3 kids, 17, 15, and 8 years old. In an effort to ensure that the older kids are being safe online, the family has a very strict policy regarding cell phone usage. Quote, the rules are that they are not allowed to have their phone in the bedroom alone or bathroom during any time of the day. And at night, they bring us, to the parents, their phones, and they lock them up. Recently, the oldest daughter had a friend over for a sleepover, so the parent called the friend's dad to tell him about the rule. The dad was skeptical, but eventually he agreed. When nighttime came around, the friend wanted to keep her phone in case of an emergency. Quote, I told her if there was an emergency, she should come wake me up and wake me and my husband up, said the parent. But the friend was still uncomfortable and wanted her phone to text her mom before bed. But the poster said that if she didn't want to hand her phone over, she would have to go home. The girl called her mom, who had just been briefed by her husband on the poster's rule, to come pick her up. When the mom arrived, she called the rules creepy and invasive and said the poster should have let her daughter keep her phone. Quote, my oldest is now embarrassed and really upset with me. And even my husband thinks I should have relaxed a little. I don't think I did anything wrong, but am I the a-hole for not letting the girl keep her phone? So the house rules are, for the 17-year-olds, that for everybody, you don't get to keep your phone in your bedroom or in the bathroom or anywhere without by yourself. And at nighttime, they lock them up. The rule goes for the friends who stay over. Is the parent right? What do you think?
I think it's house rules. If you call, they went out of their way to call this young woman's parents and say, these are the rules of our house. We'd like her to stay over. Our 17-year-old's good friends with, or whatever they said. Good friends, we'd like to say over, these are the rules. And the other parent, as you said, was skeptical, but said, okay, that's fine. I think that discussion needed to happen between that set of parents and that 17-year-old to say, do you feel comfortable enough spending the night at your friend's house with these rules in place? And if they said, no, we don't like that, then okay, then she's not staying the night. But that parent and that family has rules that they set up for everybody that walks into that house. And it's up to you to say yes or no. They shouldn't have to change their life to accommodate you.
What do you think, Ryan?
Yeah, it sounded like the parents did well in trying to communicate to the other parents, but the daughter should have told her friend ahead of time, look, these are the rules. My parents are super strict about this. If you
from the story that the daughter didn't think that her parents would do this to the friend.
Yeah.
That she was embarrassed that was actually enforced. So I don't think that the
Yeah.
daughter maybe knew that that was what was going to happen.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, if I were the friend though, the 17-year-old girl who was staying at the house, if I hadn't known that coming in, I would be a little weirded out by that too. Like, this is my communication with the outside world. You're telling me I have to take it away for the whole night. What's about to happen to me?
Yeah.
We have a third phone for my family, which, in the world of less landlines, we have a third phone, which is an activated old phone of mine that we have specifically for the purpose of sending with our kids if they are to go to someone else's house, or if they're going to go to a practice and maybe potentially need to call us. It really hasn't. We got it in the middle of COVID, so there has not been a lot of separation where that has been necessary. But I specifically want that phone so that if my kid goes to someone's house, and I know them well, but maybe not like super well, I'm pretty apprehensive about that to begin with, that my kid would always have the ability to contact me, to reach out to me if they felt uncomfortable for any particular reason, if they felt sick, if they felt like they needed to talk to me. And my kids are not 17. So that's a very different situation to be talking about an 11-year-old or an 8-year-old versus a 17-year-old. So in that context, I would say to the parents, as the guests' parents, I would say my child has this phone for this specific reason. And if the other parents weren't okay with that, I would just have to say, then cool, but they can't spend the night. I would not allow my kid. I don't disrespect the parents for having house rules that they're enforcing. I think having a phone in, a bedroom with a couple 17-year-old girls, there are so many things that could go wrong that way that those kids are not going to realize is a bad decision until later. And you can't stop that from happening, but you can control it in your own house. So I'm in favor of that family enforcing their rules. But I would say too, as the parent of the kid that was visiting, my child has that phone so that they can contact somebody. And, depending on why they would feel comfortable, I would maybe be hesitant to say that you have to go ask permission to use your own phone to call someone for help. I'd probably make some decisions differently too, as the parent of the guest. Kind of an interesting situation. A lot of people here saying, you're the a-hole, that 17-year-old is going to resent you for being so strict, but yeah, you're not in charge of other kids' phones. First of all, anybody who wants to say that a 17-year-old is going to resent you, 17-year-olds already resent you.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's part of the DNA.
There will be a time that will come where they might appreciate some of the restrictions that you impose on them. And I think that especially for teenagers that in this time and age, the restrictions that maybe some overzealous parents do put on their kids 10 years down the road, your kids might really thank you for that, because other kids who didn't have those restrictions put on them might have some things that they regret that they can't make go away because the internet is forever. Another person said, I can tell you that if my teen daughter went to a sleepover and they locked up her phone, those parents would seem more than just strict. They'd seem creepy. I don't think it's creepy. I understand it, but I'd have reasons for my kid having their phone too. So interesting conversation. Like reading all the comments coming in here on the Annie Fry Show live chat on Facebook and on the YouTube channel. Let's take a quick break. Katie will do a little What I Missed when we come back.
Sure.
All right. You can fill me in. Stick around. More Annie Fry Show right around the corner before Mark Reardon takes over right here on 97.1 FM Talk.
Ask for help. God helps the ones who help themselves. So press on, get it right. Otherwise, get left behind. Some say he's keeping score. So try hard, then try a little more.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
What if I was the one to tell you that the fight's already been won?
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get your air conditioner ready for the summer heat with a maintenance agreement from Air Comfort Service. Monthly maintenance plans start at only $15 per month. Visit aircomfortservice.com. Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group have been helping St. Louisans on both sides of the river, people just like you who are nearing retirement, make sure that they go into retirement as comfortable as possible. When you have spent years, decades, possibly between you and maybe your spouse, your significant other, maybe it's just you, working your tail off to make sure that you set aside a nest egg that's going to provide an income for you, that's going to go through retirement and have a legacy that you can leave for heirs. You want to make sure that that's protected. You want that confidence, that peace of mind. That's what Thomas Helbig and the Retirement Advisory Group are going to give you. Free consultation, no cost, no obligation retirement review by calling 314-993-9494. That's 314-993-9494. Call my friend Thomas Helbig, such a good person who is helping so many people for 35 years with the Retirement Advisory Group become his next client to never lose a penny. He's very proud of that. I'm very proud of him for being able to achieve that. And I hope that you consider connecting him for that free retirement review. 314-993-9494, retirementkey.com.
Spring is a great time to upgrade the energy efficiency in your home with new windows. Marc Cox here from my friends at Window World. I'm a satisfied customer. You will be too. Call them today for a free home estimate. They'll show you why they are simply the best for less. Window World windows are so durable. They stand behind their windows with a lifetime warranty that covers all parts and glass breakage and labor. They were ranked #1 in windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine, and they're the preferred window of the St. Louis Blues. Window World does great work, as they did in my home when they replaced 2 large bathroom windows. They measured them, they built them, and got them installed in no time. You will love working with my friends over at Window World. They're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. Call them today at 314-993-1800, 993-1800, or windowworld.com.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon for ThrottleNet, and if you need new IT service and you're a small business owner, or you just need better IT service, why wouldn't you check out ThrottleNet? They won Best in Customer Service from Small Business Monthly this past January, Best in Cybersecurity in Small Business Monthly in February. Ransomware has been huge, unfortunately, on the rise through the pandemic, and ThrottleNet has saved clients $2.6 million in ransom. So they protect against ransomware by providing a tool set that provides cybersecurity training for employees, identifying and quarantining an infected machine from the network, and the equipment will recover in less than 24 hours. Take advantage of a great offer. The first 30 days with ThrottleNet are free. There's no onboarding fees if you leave in the first 30 days. ThrottleNet will pay you $1,000 for your trouble. And after the first 30 days, no contracts, they're month to month. Check out ThrottleNet online. Use the 97.1 connection, throttlenet.com/971. Throttlenet.com/971. Get started today.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit beefy, or even with type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Affordable term life insurance is out there. Call Term Provider and speak with Big Lou at 800-481-1458, 800-481-1458, or visit biglou.com. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too.
2020 was a challenging year, but things are looking up, including the stock market's performance. But will it last? Hi, I'm Ken Moraif, Senior Advisor at Retirement Planners of America. If you are 50 or older, call us today to schedule a free consultation to learn more about our Invest and Protect strategy that is designed to help mitigate the risk of the stock market. Call us today at 800-375-1159 to schedule your free assessment. That's 800-375-1159.
Weekdays from 6 to 7. Catch the Dave Glover Show on 97.1. It's the best of each day, boiled down to 1 hour. The DGS Highlight Hour, every weekday at 6 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thanks for being here. A lot of discussion about what to do in the instance where a 17-year-old had a friend spend the night, and the rule in the house was that the parents lock the phones up, the cell phones up at night, and they required the friend to do the same thing as well. A lot of commenters here saying, you know, whatever did we do? How did we? Here's Vicky. How did we ever spend the night when we didn't have cell phones?
I was thinking the same thing.
Chris says we made prank calls with landlines.
Yes.
I existed before the time of caller ID. I remember when caller ID came about. That really killed the prank call game. For sure. Like kids today don't even know what a prank call is. You can't prank call anybody now.
No, not at all. I mean, I think whenever we were prank calling on the landlines, there was some kind of cool code that you could put in to block your number somehow.
Yeah, star or something.
Yeah, it was some cool code. But then, you got a cell phone and everything's just pulling up right there. Number, name,
and
location.
If something is unverified or whatever now, you just expect somebody wanting you to renew your car warranty if you don't answer the phone to begin with.
Yes.
I do wonder though, before we get into what I miss, what you guys think about, the difference. Was there an actual real innocence that existed before all of this that we enjoyed? Katie, you're kind of on the cusp of that. When did you get your first phone?
16
Okay,
or 17. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got mine at like 15 or 16. It was pretty much when I was driving and I was in a lot of sports. But people are saying before we had all this digital internet, social media stuff, people knew their neighbors. They knew their kids' friends, families very well. I mean, I definitely relate to the idea of growing up in a world that I don't think exists anymore. That there is a huge difference between not how I was raised, but the 80s and the 90s just being drastically different than the 2020s when I'm raising my kids and they want to go socialize and do things. It's just, I don't know if it's the faster pace or if it's the access to information that keeps us separate, our noses in our phones. But what did we do before we had cell phones? Was there an innocence that existed that we didn't acknowledge, or is it real?
I had some faith restored in humanity with the neighborhood that I live in. There are kids playing outside every single day and
That's
not
good.
an electronic device to be seen. I mean, I am talking kids in the street playing kickball, throwing footballs, playing on trampolines, running, playing basketball everywhere throughout my neighborhood. And I swore that something like that never existed anymore. I was like, nope, nobody trusts one another. Nobody is letting their kid out of the house without an electronic device. Just doesn't happen. And then I moved into this neighborhood and there are kids flying, whipping around on their bikes, yelling at the top of their lungs, eating ice cream together. I was like, golly, this is beautiful. And I hope it continues. I don't know how long it will last, but
Heartwarming.
It is very heartwarming.
What do you think, Ryan?
Well, I wonder if all this stuff, like speaking of masks, if phones have become such a security blanket that it's not necessarily that we need them, but that we feel like we have to. Like, what's the last time you got in your car and didn't have your phone? Like you just always have it. And so if somebody taking it away almost feels intrusive more than it actually is because we're so accustomed to having it.
I just think that the innocence of, to my question to Katie, the innocence of what existed back in the day, I do feel that there was a more close knit. We were more close to each other as humans than we are right now. Michael says the truth is that it's safer now than when I was a kid. I think you could probably debate that both ways, but I don't really know what the answer is. I know that I have enough information at my fingertips as a parent to be terrified right now for an array of issues that I don't think my parents ever even considered. I mean, I remember, not to go all Disney World on you, but when we went one time when I was a kid, it was 7 years old in 1991. We went on Space Mountain and my family got on the roller coaster, and it was a custom then that if you didn't want to ride, you just walked across the way. And I just stood on the platform by myself while the other 4 people in my family rode the ride. And when my parents went and went with us to Disney last year, and they were thinking about that, I remember my dad being like, what were we thinking? Like, what were we just left you. I was 7 years old, just standing there by myself.
Crazy.
But, I mean, that was the policy. It wasn't like my parents were like, oh, she'll be fine. She'll just let her stand here. That's what you did. If you weren't going to ride the ride, you just stood there. Like, I can't imagine being on a roller coaster right now while my young child was standing on a platform, just waiting for me to come back. Like, I hope she's there when we get back. It was not a concern. You know, when I grew up, I would ride my bike. I would leave in the morning on a Saturday. I would get on my bike and I would ride into town, and I would ride all over town. I had no phone. I had no way of contacting anyone unless I used a pay phone. And I just did it. And it didn't worry my parents. It didn't worry me. Like now there's no way in Hades that I would allow my kids to do that now at the age that I did that when I was a kid, like 10, 11, 12 years old. That just blows my mind.
We've been exposed.
I would never thought, oh man, I'm really doing something dangerous here. I don't think I was.
I totally agree with that. I think that we've just had so much exposure to the things that could happen and to the danger that could be there, that it's like, why'd even take the chance anymore?
Is it the news cycle? I mean, we constantly need to satiate our need to know news and all these headlines and people. I don't know. I think it's crazy. Well, let's get to the rest of the showcase.
Hey, what'd I miss?
Got a couple clips I want to play for you guys from parents and teachers kind of PO'd at this teacher union head Weingartner during a Q&A that happened with the Washington Journal.
Let's hear from Bill in West Virginia, our line for others. You're on with Randy Weingarten. Go ahead.
Good morning, ma'am. Nice to meet you. And I mean no disrespect to you, but, you know, this union thing, one time in our country, a union was a wonderful thing. Now the union creates lazy, ineffective people, and it also creates children that have no education. I look at my grandchildren. It is pathetic how the teachers union and the government has failed our children. I don't see how you could sit up there and defend that.
Wow. Straight shooter. Huge difference, too, between the publicly funded teachers union and the laborers union, to highlight what he's saying right there. But at least someone's saying it, I guess. Wow. I mean, that's straight to the point.
Yeah, if 2020's done anything, it's exposed teachers unions for their agenda.
This is from a teacher. Just a last clip from that.
The part that I don't understand is how come the parochial schools and the private schools could navigate their way through this scenario, but the public schools didn't seem to be able to manage that. Thank you very much for your answer.
So this is part of the reason why we asked the last administration to collect data on all of these things.
Trump's fault.
So there were many, many, many public schools that have been open in a hybrid manner or in a full-time manner since September. And there have been many private schools and many parochial schools. And there have been many private and parochial schools that were not open. But we don't have the data. We have the anecdotal data.
Yes, you do. You could have the data if you wanted to have the data. Are you kidding me right now? You can look all over the place and see kids. You can see states that had public school kids in the classroom. It's not just private and parochial schools. But if you're looking for an alternative to public education, may I suggest finding a good Lutheran school near you? I was a product of Lutheran school, very proud of it, and went to school with kids of all different walks of faith. And as far as alternative forms to public education at this point in time, I highly, highly, highly advise. That's the way to go. Stick around for the Mark Reardon Show. It's coming up next. You can check